Hello, hello. Let me just turn on my camera thing. Ugh. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the intermediate player tournament. Let me also just grab my stuff over here on the other side. And we will be starting in a second as soon as we have our first game. As soon as our gracious host bird starts up the tournament. So, hello to everyone. Should probably get some water. I hope you guys are ready for some 1v1 games. Gonna see some intermediate players as we saw last week and the week before. And check out if they have any new builds or anything new has happened in the meta in the meantime. Let me also turn up my stream here. Beautiful. Sorry, that's me, not you. And we're off. So. Let's start off with one of Adam. Let me also open up the tournament. See how we're looking when it comes to people today. 16 people, that's very nice. Especially for a random Friday. Oh, we got our main man Ponty in this tournament too. He actually got to the finals in one of the previous tournaments, like yesterday or something, which was crazy. Like with his strong 30% win rate, you do expect him to at some point get to actually the finals and even potentially win a tournament. I'm very excited to actually see him get to a finals game and actually win with his wacky style. It's just so different compared to how the other, especially Dark Elf players, play the game. Let me also say. Can I hear the game? Game, please. Okay, we're good. But I had no sound. Where's our boy Adam? Did he make a lobby here yet? Pasha, Dustman. Nope. Nothing too special today. What is the status? Why did the old man fall down the well? He couldn't see that well. Why is this Adam's status? Oh, there we go. Oh, we also have one more with spectator slot. I just gotta see if Adam will see my message in time before the start of the actual game. Actually, see refresh. Toby. I guess he just doesn't see my thing. Guess I'll join in. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. How do you not put your password as 1, 2, 3? Who is Toby? I think we're kind of stuck with people for now. Oh, there we go. Adam put up spectate. Awesome, okay. We're good. I was worried there for a second that nobody saw the message to actually put up a spectator slot, and we were stuck with one game beforehand, but we're good, we're good. Okay, so we're seeing Khorne, and let me actually check Adam's opponent today, Regis. I actually don't know who that is. Got it. I haven't seen this player before. This is a, let's check in the chat. So Regis. A Tzeentch, Khorne versus Tzeentch. Oh, that's a very interesting matchup here. So, when it comes to Khorne versus Tzeentch, I think, did we see one of those games the last time that I was streaming or no? I can't remember. I believe I did cast a Tzeentch game there. It just wasn't against Khorne. I think we did like Nalnish's games, but he didn't get to Khorne. So for a Khorne matchup, you're like very, if you know how to control your Furies well, I think you have a very good shot because you can just keep the Tzeentch player back with his Changebringers. But if the Tzeentch player also knows how to play like Air Kite and Spell Kite alongside it, with let's say they get a Changebringer, right? So they get one of the Changebringers, and then they escort it with a Doom Knight, which kind of nullifies a bunch of the Fury effect because Doom Knights destroy Furies in combat. They have amazing stats. They do have anti-large, which kind of doesn't matter, but them being 120 armor basically makes them completely immune to this. Are we really going to see an A? Oh, is this the guy? I think my aspirant, a useful toaster, I think he faces Regis at some point, and he always brings Aircold in all of the matchups that he plays, which is absolutely crazy to think about because Aircold is probably one of the worst characters that exists in this game. Well, not like completely, but as a duelist, he's just too expensive. He's not bad as a character. He has 60-40 and also a bunch of weapon strength and bonus versus infantry, but he's just a, you just don't bring this guy because 1350 for one fiery character just is not worth it. Though, is it good into Khorne maybe? And like he's still expensive, but I guess there is a proper way to bring him into something just like literally what Adam is building right now. This is like probably the best possible scenario that Aeocold can find himself in, right? Because what is the only thing that he actually wants to fight is like melee infantry that's probably like that's armored as well. This is like his best option right here, what Adam is building at this point. So interesting. And also, yeah, we do see a Changebringer, we do see a Doom Knight, we do see a couple of Furies. Furies of Tzeentch sadly very much lose to Furies of Khorne, because the other ones just have Frenzy, and that's a huge effect on their fighting capabilities. So they just kind of mulch through the other Furies, even though they have like 600 HP more. But the problem is you still need something to defend your Changebringers, like backcharge them if there isn't a Doom Knight too close. So the problem with this type of army building is that it is very tall. Like Tzeentch is so incredibly expensive, sadly. And also we'll be doing a tier list for Tzeentch as well on the RTK channels relatively soon too. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, like Tzeentch's only problem right now is that they are so expensive. Kairos 2.4k, extremely good, most cost-effective chicken. But as you can see, like the rest of Regis's entire army is just 8 units, which one was Cold, and then an exalted ping, two like 4 infantry units and 2 horsemen. Like this doesn't look like a full capacity army if you were spending some money on it, right? As well as like defend, like having Centigores of Tzeentch at 1200 is just insane that we still have this at such a high cost for the unit itself. But yeah, looking very good for what Regis is currently building. Otherwise, I think Adam's army is just a standard one. And he needs some like Minotaurs just here. I would probably grab just one Minotaur of Khorne, like great weapon. in this matchup, and I would probably max out on dogs, honestly. Just because dogs are super annoying onto anything that like tries to move fast. Maybe not max out on dogs. Would you max out on dogs or just take maybe like one extra horseman or something? Yeah, he has 3 horsemen now. This looks much better. Blame BF for... I mean, dude, there's no way. Like, they... 200 to pay extra for a Tzeentch mark just feels like it's super overpriced. I could understand like 100 max, but 200... 200 is just crazy, crazy work, especially on a faction that has 0 capabilities of like light cavalry or any type of movement. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But 1K for like the great weapon centaurs, I feel like is fair. But 2K for these guys, I feel like is completely unfair for them. Like 1.1K, I think would be an okay spot about it, but 1.2K is just, especially because the context of the entire faction is that everything is overpriced. I feel like it's just too much. Like everything costs just 25 or 50 too much, too much. Especially the Marauders. The Marauders are probably the worst offenders, just because they are your kind of baseline unit and you're stuck with 425. So we will definitely see. Oh, it is Khorne corruption also for from Adam. He is just picking the the thematic map for himself. Fuck Tzeentch, as all Khorne says. He's gonna go hunt down that sorcerer. Though it is, I don't know if Eocold is capable with more than I think he is capable of. We could potentially see an upset if like Adam just sends everything into Eocold and Eocold just spends the entire time just fighting stuff. I don't know if Eocold is gonna pay for himself. Gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, Tzeentch mark is probably the worst mark, but it's probably the worst mark because you only require magic damage into specific factions, into like demons or high phys res factions like Wood Elves or something. And there's like 4 or 5 matchups that they're okay in, and then the rest of the matchups you're just paying. Like, compare this mark with barrier and magical attacks to the Slaanesh mark. Man, like Slaanesh has so many things. They get bonus speed, 5% phys res, which can arguably be as much as 800 barrier in just the way that it works. ITP, devastating flanker. Like 2 out of 4 of those abilities, or like bonus things that you get from your mark, are completely worth entire Tzeentchian barrier. Like magic damage just isn't enough to compensate for like this garbage. Like you only get, let's say, if you're looking at walk, for example, and you're comparing like which knight variant you were going to take into which matchup, you couldn't compare. The only time that you think of Tzeentch for the main mark to give them is when you're going against Wood Elves. Most of the other time, it's one of the other types of marks. Be it sometimes Nurgle probably also being relatively bad, but either like Frenzy and fire damage, or just mad ITP and stuff from Slaanesh and devastating flanker. Yeah, and we see basically the army just from Adam being a complete line going for... Oh, right. Actually, let me undo the camera thing so it doesn't bug out. So, and I don't make anybody motion sick. When it comes to the army of Adam, he's just gonna go for a huge line and walk forward, which is honestly totally fine from Adam, because if he consolidates all 3 objectives, it just pushes Tzeentch back. I think he's gonna do very well. He just needs to shut down these horsemen. And that's probably going to be the Fury and Valkia just trying to chase them down. Chicken is also a terrible fighter. You don't want your chicken to be fighting Valkia. Valkia is going to kick its ass, make it dinner. And but when you look at Kairos can constantly just fire off blue fires into Valkia or to the side of any like expensive infantry. Very nice path that he just took, like over the tower, scenic route. But Tzeentch Firestorm is probably one of the spells that actually does work into Khorne. Khorne Mark gives you 35% spell resistance. Uh, this this spell doesn't care about spell resistance. It will destroy any unit that it walks onto. Oh, interesting that Adam is not moving forward. He definitely should be moving forward. Like, he sees just 3 units from his opponent, and even if his units are all much weaker individually, they will either if it's like Chaos Warriors, they will definitely destroy the Zangors, or they will just about evenly trade or up trade a bit, and he can use that time in the meanwhile to just surround his opponent with bodies, because his opponent has 9 units. He had, or 8 units at that time. He had 13. He can just surround these pinks and then just make sure that they die. If he lands here and goes directly for the pinks, that's definitely a mistake, because the Furies are not going to have a good time into pinks. Pinks, Exalted Pinks, are one of the units that can actually fight off anything that tries to charge it, which is very surprising, but when you look at their stats, it's understandable. They're 38-29, and even with magic damage and on a charge, Furies are just going to have a terrible time. Very nice catch from his opponent, flying in with the Doom Knights. Doom Knights absolutely annihilate Furies, so whenever you have a Doom Knight near your Fury, you definitely should run for your life. Nice Demon Shield on Valkia just to prevent some damage from both the Doom Knights and from Kairos. Oh, we see a Gaze of Fate trying to actually surround and kill Valkia. That is probably not a great move, because Valkia is not going to be dying anytime soon. She's a small character, and all of the characters here that are fighting her or trying to fight her are fighting a 55 melee defense demon that just has, and these guys rely a bit on their bonus versus large. So she's going to have a fine time over there. On the other side, we see just Adam leaving 1 unit on the objectives. He definitely should, again, oh, very nice that he kept that unit, kept the point, but unfortunately he lost the triple cap now, and the Furies are still nowhere near and definitely should not be charging into the Doom Knights. This is, again, one dream fight for the Doom Knights. They have 120 armor. Furies have relatively low armor piercing, so they're not going to have a great time. And Doom Knights can probably kill like 3 or 4 Fury units easily, one by one, maybe even more, and not even like lose any like high amount of models. We also see Aecold. How is he doing? 127. As expected, my boy is not cooking. Definitely also Valkia doesn't even need to go for Aecold. Aecold is not a threat. You just stick him in some Marauders, honestly, for the entire game, and he's probably going to kill them, but you're probably not going to care because the opponent wasted a unit that costs 1,350 for that. On the backside, we see Fleshhounds and Monkeys trying to fight off some Centaurs and chase down the Marauders of Tzeentch. Oh, very nasty Tzeentch's Firestorm. As you can see, like, Tzeentch's Firestorm does not care for the 35% resist. That unit just got 60% HP'd easily with just 1 Firestorm, and it also goes a bit with the Vortex into the 3rd Marauder. This is also a very smart play from our Tzeentchian player. He's just keeping 2 of the Horsemen here in the fight, and look at these Exalted Pinks, man. They just don't give a shit. They just lost 15 models fighting Monkeys and a Centaur unit or whatever, a Fleshhound unit that was chasing it. And now they just given up the fight. And oh no, Regis definitely needs to move his horsemen here. They're bugging out. This is just a classic bug inside of CA. Where if you stack your horsemen in such a way, half of them will not fire, or like 80% of them will not fire. You need to give a new line command for them to spread out, for all of them to be able to fire. That is very unfortunate. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you really shouldn't be trying to kill Aecold. Like, just give him a Chaos Warrior or a Marauder, and he's gonna be there the entire game. You kind of don't care. And it seems that the problem for our Tzeentch buddy here is that there's just too much Khorne. There's too much infantry of Khorne, and the infantry and everything else from Tzeentch is just way too expensive. Centaurs, definitely not the play in this matchup. They don't trade well even into Marauders, just because they have mediocre stats and no armor piercing again. So they just don't go well into any type of infantry fight. They're probably one of the ones that are in the down category of it. And as we see, like the Exalted Pinks fought off even the Blood Beasts of Khorne, which is crazy when you think about it. But these lads just don't care. They still have 56 models. They're just chilling. They're regenerating their shields to 800. Jesus Christ. They're gonna move forward and start shooting again. But Aircold, let's check his value. 300 value. He has been fighting since the game started. And my boy has 363 value. That is definitely not worth it. I could be way wrong, but I'm sure regular Lord of Chicken or Sartorial actually beat Valky in a 1v1. They probably don't. Sartorial might, just because he has so much HP. Let's check Valky's stats. Oh, Valky is 5.6. Sart's a bit more, but she does rely on like huge bonus versus large as well as frenzy. So this is she's really strong, especially with Demon Shield. She's probably going to win, but yeah, it she's like a very very good fighter. She's designed to uptrade into big lords, like especially the ones that have either dragons or stuff like that, because she's a very low HP character, but she can just tango. Look at Kairos, man. Kairos Giga Chatting here with 8,000 HP versus Valkia, which who is a small character with just 5.6k HP. But it does seem that Adam does have this game simply because he has an infinite tide of infantry to throw into the fight. And finally, Aecold getting 500 value. Crazy. Oh, we see Changebringers actually were the ones that cooked over here. It wasn't Aecold. Poor Aecold, man. Like, he just needed support from 6 volleys of Changebringers, 5 volleys from a Changebringer unit. Definitely should spread out right now for Adam. Like, if he doesn't want to give his opponent a bunch of value with Changebringer side shot like this, he definitely just needs to spread out each of the units individually. So if there is a Changebringer shot that shoots, and he technically doesn't have anything to stop them, right? He needs to fly up Valkia and then go for the Changebringers. But at the least, he could be giving less surface area for the Changebringers to actually get value. Valkia definitely should be running either kill chicken, like turn and kill chicken, or just run away and chase Changebringers. One of those, because you can see like a mass route now in the middle. Thankfully for his opponent, thankfully for Adam, there is basically nothing that has capture rate on the entire game over here. Like, it's literally only the Exalted Pinks and Aecold is anything that has capture value. And these Chaos Warriors, man, at 28 speed, they're not getting anywhere. So they're going to come over here, and it's going to take them 10 million gazillion years to actually get any value. And thankfully, also for Adam, his units didn't break, so they're still keeping capture weight here. And it's crazy that Chicken is taking this fight. He definitely shouldn't be. He's going to hit Valkia once every like 6 attacks or 5 attacks, just because the difference in stats. Look at that. She has 30 more melee defense, and Chicken has just 26 melee attack. Like, if he's not getting lucky, he's getting eaten tonight. The only anchor piece is this Exalted Pink unit. And I think Adam just needs like a Flesh Hound or something to go in that has high weapon damage, because these guys have high HP and high melee defense. Like just a Hound unit to go over there. Very smart play from Adam in trying to stop the units from getting onto the objective by just tar pitting them. They did eat double charge from 2 Zangors. Zangors also being really, really good on a charge. But as you can see, like, he stopped the units from getting onto the objective, like even this one right here. So he's going to delay the capture. And at this point, he is winning on one objective. He just needs to keep pressure up on all 3 to keep this up. Oh, do we have a crash here potentially? Is the game done? If this is a crash, I would definitely give it to Adam at this point, just because he has overwhelming force, and like Tzeentch normally does have a really big capture weight problem. So it does kind of make sense. Let me actually check if my stream went down for some reason. Nope, we're good. Okay, it definitely is the players. I'm gonna leave the battle just in case, so that they don't have a problem with me potentially dropping or something. But that game was definitely Adam's. Let's also check out some replays. Don't drop your replays. It's here. Ah, beautiful. Okay, so let's see. Okay, everybody just about started their game, so that makes sense. Let's also check out the current bracket, if there are any games that are done, and if there are any replays to be done. So we see only two other games finishing up right now, which kind of again makes sense. We were in that game for pretty long. How long was it? Like 20 minutes almost. Jesus, like combined with all of the start stuff there too. And yeah, now we're just chilling a bit when it comes to this. Let me actually see if I have any like random replays to cast. No, it's just my game versus B6 and oh, actually maybe this game could be interesting if we're waiting for replays and literally have nothing else to do. So let's actually look over this game until I see at least one of the replays in chat there. So this was what was it? Just a random tournament game between myself and Pasha from VM. Oh, who's actually in the tournament right now. So yeah, we will also see him play, most likely Kissel. So when it comes to the armies here, we had Skaven into Norska. And this is usually a relatively bad matchup for all players. Hey, Ulrich, how you doing?
Hey, hello, are you making a video? Or...
Oh, no, I'm streaming.
Oh, you're streaming, okay.
Yeah. Intermediate tournament is going on right now. So we're just waiting for more replays to come in because first round was relatively short for my game that I was casting.
So there are no normal tournaments on the intermediate one today?
I think, is there... Toaster usually starts hosting in, what is it, like 3 hours or something? So there might be like one that is just late. I
Okay,
don't know.
so I just need to check it out.
Yeah, he didn't post it yet, but he might just randomly host in the night when he gets off work.
So, by the way, how you change your camera right in the game? So if you have like the high one, and on replays you just change it, or...
Oh, no. I actually, if you do this with your camera, go into this setting, and then just drop your speed and then re-get it, like apply before and then apply again. It auto locks you so you're no longer in debug camera for some reason.
Oh,
so,
okay, thanks.
So it just makes it a lot smoother to move.
That's can be helpful because when I'm making my casts, I sometimes just forget about this and starting to restart game because of this.
Same.
My record was really 6 times. 6 times in a row I restarted the game.
Oh, I hated that when I also started like on League 2 or something, when I started casting games because people were complaining that it was janky in the videos. I completely feel you on that, and then I just deactivated debug for one time, and it was so annoying for me because I'm just used to debug camera. I can't play without it, and then it comes back to just it being a bug. I think I saw one of the Conquest people, when they were casting, do this to fix the camera, and then I asked in his chat, and then he told me on how to fix it. Hey, Killian. Oh, we actually have a few replays. Okay, I'm not gonna do mine. Let's load up a replay from the game.
Also, Reds against Skaven feels like something pretty painful for Skaven.
For against Norska, I beat Pasha in this game.
Oh, that's nice. I would say that's probably not unwinnable, but tough enough matchup for Skaven.
Yeah, definitely. Especially only because of Worm, honestly. If Worm didn't exist, I think it would be totally
I played it against Xarix, and I guess the score was about... I'm not wanna lie, but it was like in my part, and I didn't use a worm. So, but I guess it's 3-2 or something. It's like
Yeah.
tournaments and practice including. So
Yeah, with worm, it depends on the build that you go. I usually go for globes, but with globes, worm is pretty annoying if you don't snipe it with Morscatars. Otherwise,
if being honest, I guess worm should be just banned.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
just a bit
same, same.
annoying shit.
I agree.
The problem is you do not have any stuff to counterplay it. That's the biggest problem.
Yep, yep, I completely agree with you. So for this one, we have Kane. Kane being a returning player. He played some time back and now has come back from what I have heard. Empire into Vampire Coast. So, Silostra. Silostra basically kills all of the archers relatively well. Is this crossbows? Damn, I don't think I've seen a crossbow unit in a competitive game in like 6 months, man. What the hell? Mass crossbowmen? I only see archers from Empire side. I guess it's okay just because of the range, but I don't think you even honestly need crossbows. Like archers are totally fine. They're much cheaper, much less be able to be compromised by just Silostra and the dive. And yeah,
Can I just say a few moments about this, if it's okay
no, you
for stream?
completely, yeah. What's up?
So, look, the biggest difference between archers and crossbowmen have decent armor-piercing shots. So their value is more than usual one. It's about 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
While archers is pretty low. They also have extra range. So the fact why we do not see crossbowmen just usually because you do not want to use foot skirmishers. But
yeah.
in general, they are not worse than, for example, um, Bretonian archers. But the problem
Bretonnia
is
archers are
their
great.
synergy with Empire builds less than archers with Bretonian one, and you still have like uh, more relevant damage dealers from the range.
Yeah, also, if you're gonna be like these guys still have 6k HP, so Salastra is going to hurt with Tide Calls and Ghost of the Past. There's no like these guys you don't need the armor piercing into Vampire Coast. That's my point. And you also want the widest possible archer lines into Vampire Coast, so just so you can pepper stuff up and like have the DPS to kill it. Like the only thing that's armored on the entire Vampire Coast is these guys, Lamprey's Revenge or Rotting Prometheans probably, and or maybe like Silostra on a crab or something. But like everything else, it's just you're like now completely wasting even having crossbows here. Like archers would be doing the same thing into zombie pirate gunnery mobs. Oh, and goddamn, is Empire eating it right here? Their entire front line is just collapsing because he, for some reason, didn't bring shields on this one. And crossbowmen, again, relatively low armor. Tide Call is going to wreck them as soon as Siloshrus comes into range. Crazy thing that we see Arch Lecter of all things with Grand Hammer of Sigmar and Grand Soulfire. That's actually pretty cool to see. So he's just going in, popping Soulfire, and destroying one of the zombie pirate that cans. This is very thematic, but not very effective, sadly. Jaeger in the back, just kind of shooting at stuff. Probably should be moving them just a tiny bit up to try and shoot into the actual gunnery mobs with them. But otherwise, them shooting into just normal deckhands is, I don't think, that worth it. And we see the summon from Silostra going back into all of the crossbowmen over here. Just compromising them, running them down. That is completely normal for the Vampire Coast. And now we see carronades moving forward to fight the Hellstorm rocket batter. That's crazy. So he went full on in just so that he can try to kill them. And unfortunately for Vampire Coast, their cannons are like stacked on top of each other. So if this rocket launcher gets a rocket battery, gets a couple of good shots into both of them, it could potentially take both of them online and keep shooting. Though probably just cannons, because they're being so accurate, are going to take it down beforehand. We'll see. The rest of the frontline army for the side of Empire is definitely collapsing here. And we are now suffering why he brought crossbows, like why crossbows are bad here. Just because at this point he could have had extra 2, maybe, frontline troopers that are just standing there to also keep the tide of zombies away. And with this, he just had to go cheap, super cheap frontline, and now just has a complete problem over here because everything is coming through. He also doesn't have enough armor piercing to hurt the Lamprey's Revenge with just 2 of them. And unfortunately, there's some micro mistakes here with just leaving the grenade launchers, not doing anything. They definitely could be mopping up the entirety of his opponent right here. So, oh yeah, I agree with Bird's decision when it comes to Adam's game. I'll just say, I also watched the game. Okay, back to the game. Hergig Jaegers going into Lamprey's Revenge. That's a good shot. So if they're farming Lampreys, very nice value when it comes to just shooting into a heavily armored unit that has few models that is going to die from the high weapon strength that they each have with individually. But the problem is there's too many zombies, man. Like zombies are just infinite. Oh no, he notices the oh no, they didn't unsummon. No, what did you do? He gave them an extra command, and now 2 seconds later the Hellstorm rocket battery, they're screwed. Like they're gonna get charged through with the spearmen are gonna die. Morngulls are gonna feast on both the rocket battery, and then they're gonna run off the battlefield, unfortunately. So Bright Wizard, very nice burning head, or was this a Soulfire bombardment? It was just a bit of damage, but not too much. Honestly, though, the Empire getting stuffed back is crazy to me because Vampire Coast is usually one of the slowest factions that that get onto objectives, and them just being shoved into their spawn is very unusual to see. But I guess Vampire Coast can just do it with so cheap frontline units with like zombie pirates as they are. They're just gonna wreck them. Now we also see some Depth Guard coming in. So Depth Guard also a very cool unit. Probably one of the cooler looking units in the game, honestly. They're just like very cool. Look at this. Look at their armor, man. They look amazing. Like they came out of that one Lord of the Rings game, basically. And Shadow of Mordor. Or, yeah, I think it was Shadow of Mordor. They just look like they came... They're like a very mean guy inside of that game. Also, Morngulls to the side here being compromised. There's Silver Bullets, there's Crossbowmen and Jägerkorps still up. So, Captain Muffin did do a good job just keeping up a bunch of the units here. It's just that he won't be able to get back onto the objectives fast enough if this keeps up. Especially with so many... Oh, the rocket battery actually lived. That's awesome. So rocket battery actually lived. They reconnected with their 2 models. And we also see a spearman that fought for their lives as well as an Empire Knight to assist them in that game. And yeah, very nice. Let's speed this up just so that we don't miss an entire round. And we see that Captain Muffin, even though he is very much up in value, he's just not going to have the ability to stand on the objectives properly enough to actually get back into this game. Empire is pretty slow to get onto the objectives later in the game just because state troopers are so annoying to summon up. And yeah, we see that even on this like super secluded side where he actually did have a bunch of time, he couldn't get onto the objective, unfortunately. Vampire Coast just is too good at churning out mid-game garbage to stand on the objective and actually capture it. We see the objective 3 being captured over here, and Celostra dying kind of doesn't matter, but it could. It is still a 1 cap for Vampire Coast, so it really does depend on what we can actually get here. Oh, Lamprey's Revenge also crumbling here could spell the doom. He just has 100 seconds. Ooh, Captain Muffin isn't coming fast enough onto the objective. Oh no, he didn't summon in. He had nothing to summon in. That is so unfortunate. That's why we see the complete tide. So he had to do some housekeeping before he could actually get onto the objectives, and it seems like Vampire Coast is going to be taking this one just because of capture weight and just coming in with a late night dog support. The Empire State Troopers just couldn't get onto the objective, and that was due to poor housekeeping. So Vampire Coast takes it. That was a great game, honestly. So let's see. Gear 2.6k. Crossbowman, not being too bad, honestly. Bright Wizard, relatively nice. Kieran's being pretty bad. Silostra doing good. And then Morgul's not doing anything super special. Crazy, crazy.
I would say the general idea of Empire build was like it's pretty, when you look against on the pirates, you think, okay, I can play that wide stuff with skirmishes, but it stopped work after last buffs for cost. So now that cheap meat is too cheap to try to skirmish it out.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. They're just way too cheap. And for 5
Yeah.
capture weight, unlike the other zombies, like you just can't get rid of them fast enough unless you have enough grenade launchers that aren't compromised.
Yeah. So you need to just shock damage like spells, grenade launchers, or grind it out in melee because on
Yeah.
range it just does not work. And cost player, I can give him only one tip. He missed with his bombers. Bombers is not needed in this matchup
Oh
anyway.
yeah, bombers
It was
aren't that
like
great.
almost ruined him the whole game. He easy wins the early game. The mid game was okay.
Yeah,
But when the bombers comes, it's just like
I
because
completely agree.
usually it's normal for Empire play like infantry plus skirmish calf like almost every match,
Yeah.
and plus some sort of invisible archers like
Yeah,
huntsmen or
huntsmen are great,
yeah.
especially for hunting rotting Prometheans and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Completely
yeah,
agree.
and so usually it's just like bad idea to take the bombers here.
Yep. Honestly, on that map, it's super easy to compromise the Hellstorm rocket battery. He didn't even need to send more goals there. He could have sent like 2 scurvy dogs through the forest to the top side, and then just jumped on the backline artillery to even compromise it more. It just depends on the map, but it's so good. They're pretty good. Also, we have Dwarves into Lizards. Honestly, I don't think I've seen this matchup too much. So we see Wildfire just with infinity bomb blasting chargers. 3 Thunders, Dwarf Warriors, double Demon Slayer plus Demon Slayer. Oh, double Dragon Slayer plus Demon Slayer. He has a triple anti-large. He's gonna be hunting that Jurassic Park ass like the entire game. Oh my god. It's gonna be pretty funny. And then again, more miners, just to counteract, I assume the skink tide that is gonna be coming. Though if you have so many red crested skinks, those red crested skinks are gonna have a nice time into everything that's not blasting chargers. You just want to defend them from that. Then we see a couple of slayers, couple of giant slayers, grim delvers, the auto take, and then skyscrap.
Reniteka, I would ask you, are you sure that people who play in your tournament do not look your stream?
Oh, if they look for one, this tournament doesn't count towards the leaderboard, so it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, I understand, but it's still like
Oh, if they wanna cheat, I don't show armies for the top 4 when they're playing, but when it comes to like analyzing here, it really doesn't matter if they're
yeah,
gonna be
it's
cheating.
understandable. So
Yeah.
if we're talking about the intermediate level, it's mostly
Yeah.
should be some sort of education content. So
Exactly. There's like no point. If you're gonna be cheating here, like what are you doing? It's not gonna even count towards your stats, right? So you're just doing it just to be a dick. Let me actually get my jacket off. So, what's the main issue for dwarves here? So red cresteds, probably like feral cold ones are also amazing. This cold one riders.
Can I make in a little what is biggest issue for dwarves? I guess it's a short legs.
Yes, yes, it is the short legs. They're also Jurassic Park against pure armor. Kind of sounds like very, very fun, but dwarves, if they don't hit the blasting charges, I assume they insta lose this game, right? Yeah, with so many feral cold ones, with so many red-crested skinks, if just the normal skinks eat the blasting charges, I think this is a bit of a lizard favorite matchup. 159
I think
implies.
almost every matchup for Dwarfs is in a favor of the opponents. I can probably find out like about 4 matchups which one is probably good for Dwarfs but still playable for another side. Like
Yeah,
Empire should be okay for Dwarfs, maybe Grand
Emperor Dwarf,
Katai.
yeah. Yeah, and what are those? Those are just artillery dual factions that they have, and factions that also lack some armor piercing potentially.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just pure armor wall from dwarves heading your way. But yeah, just a huge skink and more skink tide. We also see Gorok with Fizzres. This is actually really cool. But it's recharges if in melee. Ugh, maybe not so cool. Mace of Olmec. So yeah, interesting. Just a bunch of armor piercing wall. So this guy is just a slapper. He's gonna go in. He's a small target. He's not gonna get too much into against a fight. This is actually good that he's a small target because all of the slayers would have even more bonus versus large against him if he wasn't. Then supported by a skink priest with chain lightning. This is also very good. Password that is, yeah, I was sorry, Toby. Oh, it's 159. Jesus Christ. I was like, what the hell is your password? I'll go into your game next round. But I was trying to guess your password for like a good like 2 minutes, but just wasn't able to get it. Yeah, for the dwarves, as we already saw, it's a goon squad of triple slayers that's gonna go forward, and then triple thunder is just gonna try to pew pew the lizard boys. The lizards did try to set up on the side that they know the dwarves will be on, I assume, which is this side. So they have a good hill to stand on here and just shoot for the half of the map. As you can see, the map is kind of a line, but that line on this side favors better line of sight. So if there is any artillery that is going to be summoned or something like that, it should be from this side. So let's see how the lizards actually counteracted with it. Hello, hello, Lazuka. How are you doing today? And are you? I didn't see your name in the actual tournament. I didn't check if you're playing too. When it comes to the rest, it's just going to be a forward march. So very smart. He's leaving the red-crested skinks onto the side here, and then presenting his skink cohorts. Might also just have the skink priest go a chain lightning into one of the units that when they go in to disrupt their formation so that they don't throw their blasting charges. So it's gonna be very, very awkward. On the side, we actually see the skinks compromising the Grim Delvers. Oh no, this is like game losing type of play, man. Like these guys, the only thing that is their problem is that they don't have too much armor piercing, so they might like not completely kill this unit. But this is such a good play from our lizard player, Twist. Just going to the side, and then unfortunately from that side also there was just a hugely stealthed super expensive unit that it got onto in this game. So if the Grim Delvers basically don't shoot at any point, it's gonna be very, very difficult. Croxigor is getting mowed down by double thunders over here. Where's the third thunder? So third thunder got compromised by the Croxigors, which is unfortunate. But if these thunders turn, damn, that's hard to say, like 5 times. If these guys turn around and start shooting into the Croxigors that got through, they're also gonna do very, very well. Over here, we see Gorok actually kicking the ass of the Demon Slayer along with the cohort of Sotek, which is pretty cool to see. Like the Goon Squad not working because there's just nothing to goon. There are only the Croxigors that these guys would go well into. And oh, very nice play with Ripper Dactyls going into the Thunderers and not being defended by just about anything. We see there's Slayers coming in, but these guys might be too late, so that they might not actually save the other Thunder unit. It really does depend. On the other side, the Grim Delvers technically did get away from the Chameleon Stalkers. They're still chasing them down a bit, and their leadership is just about holding. with a couple of units routing next to them. Oh, they got the charging bonus now onto the Grim Delvers. They're actually going to reconnect to them, which is a very, very good play from Twist. Also, having double Ripperdactyl go onto the backline before the backline actually had enough damage to get through. I don't see it anymore for the dwarves. They were super effective at the start when the connections started happening, but now that they're out of blasting charges and they did not even clear all of the skinks, as we can see, there's one, two skinks. This one over here is relatively healthy. 4 of the 5 like red crested are still alive, just munching through all of the dwarves, and they are definitely leaving their mark. Also, the demon slayer, which is the lord, is getting really, really hunted by Gorok, just chasing him down. And even though the slayer has like 0 armor and this guy is an armor piercing fighter, right, he's still gonna connect him and beat this guy's ass. And as the Ulrich said, this guy got short legs, so he can't really run away from a Ripperdactyl, even though he's somehow faster than him. But yeah, it seems that this game is pretty much over, especially now with Javelins coming in. Javelins being really, really strong with their precursor ammo, and then it's just another skink. So that's 5 capture weight, that is 46 speed compared to 5 capture weight that is 28 speed in the actual game. So they're not going to have a fun time. Especially Ripperdactyls still being good, still like just cleaning up all of the other miners that were there and fighting for it. So unfortunately, it doesn't see. And you saw Luca in no world where the lizards actually win this, and as you can see, it's just not even a contest from Twist's side into destroying all of the dwarves. Thunders probably didn't do too well, honestly. Let's see. So this guy's got 500 value, 560, which isn't bad value. 550, not bad. But the Grim Delvers got 12 value. Oh no. 12 value on your main carry line piece. Like, these shotgun guys can destroy like infinity units, but they just got screwed over by one Chameleon Stalker, which was such a great play. I don't know why they were going Spec Ops alone to the side, honestly. And Gorok showing that he's actually a menace and fighting off all 3 of these characters with just... Oh, he probably used the Mace of Volmac to get their stats down. Yeah, that's definitely what happened here. And then engaged in melee just gives the shield to just about everything that's around him. That is what is up. Very nice. Say, Bird, that this one is one of the better ones for lizards. I can see it just because of red crested skinks, that they're so cheap. And you also having a bunch of, again, armor piercing stuff with like feral cold ones. Just, you don't have a problem with the armor that the dwarves get in. But for lizards, what's probably a very, very good matchup for them? I think Tzeentch is also a good matchup for them. Warriors of Chaos, Tzeentch. Like, there's just too few units on those rosters, and you just have like stuff like Skink Oracle and so on that can just dominate the fight. Gorok probably gonna be dying here. He is affected by the Hammer of Carrick draws here. So he has only 10 melee attack, not having the funnest time here. He's being hunted, but he's a small character. He might escape just because there's like a million other skinks. And at this point, there's just no time for the dwarves to get onto any objectives. They just have dwarf warriors, which are the slowest thing in the world, with the least DPS in the world. And even if they could outfight some skinks, it's going to take them 10 million years to get through all of the skinks, which also have 5 capture weight, and just cost, like, what, 325 for the normal ones, and then 450 for the javelins. It's just going to be infinity skinks. On the side, we do see the miners actually throwing their blasting charges, then blasting this one skink and potentially capturing an objective. But they're kind of just... it's delaying the inevitable being the dinosaur tide that's going to go through all of them. So, if I were a betting man, I would say that this game is pretty over. So let me, in the meantime, I'll leave this like the camera, and let's also grab a couple of replays from round 1 to cast through before that. Let me just grab them up. So we saw that one. Download, we got 2 more. And yeah, let's just double check that nothing special is happening. Yeah, nothing special is going to happen in this one. And unfortunately, it's over for our Dwarf. Probably not the greatest idea to go Dwarves in an SFT. You're probably just going to be shafted by better factions in this game. 1.2k, very nice on the Croxigors, 1 summon, 1.3k on the Chameleon Stalkers basically carried this game with compromising the Grim Delvers, and then all of the other Red Cresteds did a just enough fine job, so did the normal Skinks. Nothing too special from the Heaven's Caster, but it makes sense since Dwarves have spell resistance. Gorok showing he's a superior fighter to all of the Demon Slayer core, and yeah, it was just expected that there was gonna be nothing too large on the roster, and the miners with blasting charges just didn't have enough. And look at this, Grim Delvers. That was the game losing play. Definitely having Grim Delvers at 12 HP, at 12 value, and not summoning in, let's say, the Skyhammer Squadron. There was nothing that shoots up here. Basically nothing except the Ripperdactyls, and these guys could have potentially done a different job. So let's check out the replays. And yes, I believe Carnifex is Bird. So Empire into Tzeentch. And wow, so many Tzeentch players. We have like 3 Tzeentch players here at this point. Let's see Ponty's game. So Ponty facing Pasha VM, his arch nemesis from Warhammer League at this point. He is facing quite a few of them inside of the Warhammer League so far. So very much interested to see if he can get a win off from one of them. Let me just double check. Yep. Let's see how this goes. So we see a couple of Scourge Runners. Scourge Runners being good here, unless your opponent goes for something like a, what is it called? A Soul Grinder. But in generally, you can out-skirmish. And his man, this is his favorite thing to do for some reason. What? Bloodwreck Shrine? Oh my god. Bloodwreck Shrine Medusa. This is crazy. Every single time, I just don't understand why he brings the Shrine compared to just normal Medusa. Okay, so we see Malekith. Malekith with the entire kit, entire kitchen. This is absolutely crazy. Look at this. He has the entire kit and he's on a dragon. Just Ponty just forgot to remove any of the items from him. What a giga chad. Just going for 3.3k Malekith or something. And then when it comes to Tzeentch, seeing the Shrieking Sky Rays, a bunch of blues and pinks supported with Green Knight. Green Knight is pretty good in this matchup just because of the lack of magic damage unless it's like Doomfire Warlocks. And then Doom Knights also being very good here. On the other side, we see Malekith bullying squad with double Scourge Runners and then Bloodwreck Shrine alongside it. So, and the Dread Spears just peppering the entire map, being defensive postured here to just keep at least one of the objectives. This is probably really difficult for... pardon me. This is probably really difficult for Ponty's army. Not necessarily Dark Elves in general, but Ponty's army here is really not suited with dealing with Tzeentch like this, which is blues and pinks. Because all blues and all pinks can shoot. They kind of don't care about the Scourge Runners. And unfortunately, the Shrine really isn't it. So it is, it is not going to get as much value as we think it's going to get. Medusa would have been totally fine, but I guess Scooter is a bit more interesting. Still also didn't use any of the breaths. And there's just more Zangors coming out to support the blues and pinks and stand in front, because there's nothing shooting back at this point. It's just blues shooting into like random bleak swords. And now we finally see a Dark Shard unit with shields. So Dark Shards trade amazingly well into blues and pinks, just because again these guys don't have the best stats when it comes to taking damage. They're just okay maybe in a melee fight, more than you would expect at least. And blue is being compromised by some blade wind. This is a good side, a good thing from Ponti. Malekith also is kind of unkillable this game, at least so far. Like, Green Knight can't compromise him. He is mega expensive, though. And just summoning in another... My god, Ponti brought in another... I just realized Ponti brought in another caster with 2 spells and the passive. This guy is absolutely crazy, man. Like, what... This caster also cost... Is it on a horse, too? It's on a horse, too, man. He spent, like, 5,000 gold this game on just casting spells. Absolute mad lad. He does have double power of darkness. So he does have like a bunch of extra mom. But that WOM isn't going to be worth 5k that he actually brought in this game. I guess we're going to find out. Dark Shards trade them really, really well with the rest of the pinks and the blues. So they should like be stepping up and starting to just shoot into stuff like this. Chaos Sorcerer of Metal coming out finally, and this is a classic VM tactic with bringing in a caster that actually has multiple spells that cost more, which is like Gehenna's Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom, later into the game, so they can just dump all of their WOM into the opponent, and as we can see here, like this is a Gehenna's. So really good cast over there. And then he's going to probably just pop a Final Transmutation onto the Shrine and Malekith potentially. Or on Shrine, Malekith, and the Skirt Runner Chariot if he has a good connection there. Interesting to see that Pasha kind of backed off from the middle objective though. I think he could have potentially held it there and tried to fight the tide of Bleak Swords and Dread Spears here, especially because they aren't like the too effective. But I guess it kind of does make sense to back up just a tiny bit to near the forest, so that you're closer to your reinforcement points, and that you can also shoot to just kite out more of the units from your opponents. But honestly, this Bloodrack Shrine ending up doing a bunch of value because it's picking the proper targets. It fought off a bunch of pinks at this point, and it has just kept shooting. Like, not too many kills, but the kills that it is getting now that it is not on like anti-heal or something, Ponti is actually really, really favored for this game at this point. All of the blues and pinks are kind of stacked. One more Blade Wind here is going to destroy the career of these guys. Blues are running out of precursor ammo, so they're going to have to fight. They are not the most amazing fighters, especially into Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, which when the Mastery is popped, just get a huge boost, which just happened like 15 seconds ago. So the frontline fighting is now very, very favored in Ponti's side, and I think Ponti actually has this. Shade's dual weapons also being really good here. Again, armor piercing shooting, kind of wasting the armor piercing, but it doesn't matter. You're still like very high DPS and very high weapon missile strength is within the shades. And then when they're out of ammo, they can also go in and actually fight the units with 55, or 55 right now because of the passive, but like 50-ish melee attack. They're gonna be wrecking through some fools. Do they have armor piercing? No, they don't. Okay, that makes sense. Like that's their main drawback. Bloodrack Shrine really shouldn't have been getting this much value. The Green Knight should have been on its ass since the start of the game, trying to compromise it. And now that the Bloodrack Shrine is down, there is a potential for Pasha to turn it around, honestly. Because if he gets, like, nothing is stopping for some reason this Chaos Chariot, which just absolutely destroyed a Shades unit with the Gehenna cast. That is really, really bad. Oh, pardon me. I just ate some amazing pasta that I made. Still need to process it. But yeah, this Chaos Shrine really shouldn't be getting this much value in the backline. 500 value on just one charge. Getting into there. Very, very good Searing Doom. Absolutely destroying the Dark Riders in this game. So, very unfortunate for Ponti. He's going to be losing that unit. And Pasha is kind of fighting back. Especially now hunting down the Sorceress of Dark. Like, she is going in a very unfortunate direction. And with Dolores Blade pop, she is frightened and being chased down by the Green Knight. By Giles, I believe. Oh, is Pasha going to notice that he's not chasing her anymore? He does notice and he is still hunting her. That's really good, really good. We see the Helabros, coming in and finally trying to kill the chariot. But again, there should have just been a Dark Rider that was chasing down and targeting the chariot to stop them. We also see kind of a throw that harpies are being summoned. Harpies are really bad in general. Don't bring harpies, let alone into stuff like Tzeentch. Because again, we talked about this in the previous game. Tzeentch is really tanky when it comes to their backline units, especially pinks. Pinks and exalted pinks literally don't care about a harpy unit flying down onto them. It is probably just gonna occupy them for a bunch of time, and then they're gonna get back charged by something and lose. And now we see double cap for Pasha here. He is still a bit down on value, but this is a bit inflated too, just because of how Tzeentch's army works with the barrier. So they're probably like neck and neck here in the game. And Malekith is actually now becoming a problem or a liability at this point because he's so expensive. And as we see, Ponti just had like 4 units in this game, entire game, and he didn't kill the changeling yet with Gilles. So Gilles is gonna have still a very nice time just going into random units and fighting them off, and is going to be healing that Doom Bolt off as well over time. So you kind of don't care with what is actually happening here. And I don't think Ponti will have the ability to get onto the objectives at this point. It looks very difficult. Even with just Malekith trying to farm stuff like Zangors, Malekith isn't like the most amazing of fighters, right? Yeah, he's just a defensive guy. He isn't a fully offensive guy. So he's just an okay-ish fighter. And he is a source of terror, which is nice, but like he needs to be hunting down the proper targets, which technically some Chaos Knight can be, but blues and pinks, man. Blues and pinks should be his target. And also sinking so much damage into Changeling and not killing him definitely is hurting Ponti here. So whenever he rewatches this, if he rewatches this, oh my god, Malekith also getting ganged up on by Stinging Skyrays and a Doom Knight, really bad for him. And unfortunately, the build did not cook. Even with Malekith getting 3.1k, it really isn't that good. Scourge Runners paying for themselves and a bit more. Again, classic Scourge Runner thing, but that is very unfortunate. Bloodwreck Shrine definitely being the loser in this game. And then the rest of this army, just Harpies, man. Harpies really aren't the play. Neither were the Shades, but that was just because he didn't defend them properly. He definitely should have had one of the Dark Riders in the back just screaming for the Changeling and or the Chariot. It just had a rampage through his lines. And it was also the setup for the Gehennas. Pinks doing really well. The Exalted Pinks actually didn't cook. He left them too long in combat. And the Doom Knights actually did really well. Chaos Sorcerer Lord makes sense, did really well. And then the rest of it, yeah, look at that. 900 value on a almost full model Chariot. Kind of just don't care. Also Shrieking Skyrays. Really nice, really nice. Very good play from Ponti. I feel like we're going to have a Tzeentchian final at this point, because we have only seen Tzeentch games. Like only one game, I think, so far hasn't been a Tzeentch game. So let's check out if we have the next roundup. Okay. Just refreshing the bracket. Yep, third round is up. So we have Toby. Oh, we can actually spectate Toby now that we know the password, right? 159. Thank you, Toby, in the stream. So, oh, but he is Regis. Ooh, we actually had one of his games already, and that is another Tzeentch game. So let's actually check out somebody that is not a Tzeentch game at this point. And he does seem to. Oh no, he's gonna be fighting a rogue AI. Okay, that makes sense. Captain Muffin, Pasha versus Ponti. We just not see this game right now. Oh, they were a yeah, we did. So Jimmy and Japanese Goblin. Let's find Jimmy and Japanese Goblin. gonna be grabbing a newer player. I think, at least. I don't know. I don't think I've seen this guy's. I don't think I've seen this guy's game before. At least not that I know of from just Discord here. Yes. We're in. Just gotta find him. So he is facing another newer player, I believe. Japanese Goblin and Jimmy Tzeentch. I don't think I've seen either of their games so far. That's pretty cool. We're gonna give some light to some newer players. Assume it's this Dom thing. Awesome. So we're going to be seeing High Elves, I assume, from the setup here, which we love to see. Seeing some High Elves, and it's going to be Toric. Let's check out what he is playing. So Toric is going to be Tomb Kings today. Oh, interesting, interesting. So Toric, High Elves into Tomb Kings. Oh, this is a good reminder that I have to play my games. Play Domination Season 2. We have currently inside of RTK. We have another event that we're currently hosting, and that event is basically like a division between the players inside of RTK, with between the skill levels of all of the knights, all of the aspirants, all of the high level people, and so on, and we're put into brackets, and then we have a round robin tournament with each other with like 6 people or so inside of it. So we have like 6 rounds of fighting each other, and it's pretty cool. Gotta remember to actually play my games as well. Gonna be interesting to also potentially cast a couple of the games from that for our RTK channel. So let's see what Tomb Kings are. I don't know if this is his army. Oh, it does seem like this is the army that Toric is going for. So Toric just going for a shielded frontline wall that's gonna walk forward with Archon the Black and Liber Mortis, Spirit Leech to kill the opponent's lord. Very interesting that he's not taking anything like Biuna or Purple Sun. Purple Sun, I probably don't think he has anything special to Purple Sun, but maybe just get a Biuna. Or are there Oceanids in this game? Yeah, there can be potentially Oceanids. So you could actually grab Aspect of the Dread Knight just to keep the possibility of magic damage on your roster. Like, if there's a bunch of Oceanids are only weak to basically magic damage just because of their resists. So you having an extra source of magic damage would kind of be nice. But other than that, I think I liked... Oh, he did grab Buna at least. Okay. So that was just a... I'm gonna grab Archon. I don't know what to put on him yet. From the other side, we see an Archmage of Metal with Searing Doom, Plague of Rust, Final Transmutation, and a bunch of Archers. So a bunch of Archers is really good in this matchup. Archers being 180 range here. The main problem that you have here is artillery. And unfortunately, Soul Quench doesn't cut it into Tomb King's artillery. You definitely want like a catapult. This is Lost Temple of Sotek, so catapult might not be the best here, but it's still such a good piece. Like one of the best catapults in the game, probably. Probably second best to like the Plague Claw maybe. Or maybe even being the best catapult in the game, honestly, if I think about it. It's tied between that and the Plague Claw. Like those two are just the best. So I'm gonna see double chariot, and yeah, catapults absolutely wreck this type of army. It is a pretty unfavorable map for shooting though, because of so many trees, but I think still a catapult covering like both points and being unable to absolutely compromise it in any way is just chef's kiss here. Other than that, Searing Doom Final Transmutation. Is this the play, though? I feel like... Is Eltharion just better? Isn't Eltharion just better? If you're going for this, like, what is the point of Final Transmutation? Like, kill double Kitty? While if you have Eltharion or this eagle thing, you have Apotheosis and Arcane Unforging, and potentially like Soul Quench. So heal yourself and potentially cause fear. Kill opponent's lord, which is a spellcaster usually, so you're getting like double the value. And then Soul Quench for stuff like Tomb Guard maybe. I feel like this is definitely a wrong pick of magic here. Or he could have just gone for like Burning Head, a classic, which that classic is always a classic for a reason, because you can just clear out so many infantry here. So there's definitely where I am interested to see how much Jimmy knows what type of magic and what did he take the magic for. And he's gonna learn very quickly that Searing Doom isn't gonna cut it this game, unfortunately, because his opponent Torek just brought an entire wall of silver shielded infantry. So the more units that he has that shoot, he's basically at a bigger disadvantage. The Lion Chariots of Krace are really good though here, just because again there is very much no what is it called, no mass to stop them. So if he micros them well and not doesn't keep them like in the trees just because of strider effects and so on, he's gonna have a pretty fine time. Though there are also some Tomb Guard halberds here. So Tomb Guard halberds really need to be avoided. They're really strong. This is 45 melee attack from them and really strong weapon piercing. I mean armor piercing and weapon strength for that. Also really good melee defense. And the missiles aren't gonna do anything. Are like with just normal archers at this point, you're gonna have a terrible time. There's infinity skeletons that are gonna be walking towards you. You just have spearmen and ship's company, and you're gonna get walked over. Especially if there is just one tomb guard that is going to go in and fight. Like that tomb guard, along with the Realm of Souls procs, is probably gonna have the best time of its life. There just isn't enough DPS here unless these two chariots absolutely carry, especially with this type of arm. Archon probably just going to be on his horsey running around and summoning an extra skeleton warrior into the archers or something, and then trying to spirit leech the opponent's lord. He actually did a proper lord choice. And yeah, the eagle 5k HP is just not going to cut it here. Let's see what the summons are though. I forget. There was I believe Fireborn on the side of Fireborn, an Ocean, and a couple of extra units from a Hyla player, but I don't know what else was in his reinforcements. I wasn't remembering too much attention. Oh, we see a Heavens caster. Oh, interesting. So this is his tech to try to potentially counter Chaff. This is it's really weird that he's picking this type of magic. So Heavens overcasted is 8. Undercasted fire burning head is 10. And if you're bringing another Starwood Staffcaster just to get extra WOM from yourself, why not just bring a Burning Headcaster, honestly? Like, one Wind Blast only has the potential of a Burning Head if there are multiple cheap stacked units on top of each other. So they must not be like next to each other. They must be literally on top of each other for this to be worth it. And yeah, I believe like every single other mage also gets the Starwood Staff. This is a very good charge, especially because the units are not braced. So they kind of go through both the Skeleton Warriors, though they kind of do get stuck onto the Tomb Guard being really well with mass, and also the Skeleton Warriors just eating the charge, so they kind of don't care. Archon can now just honestly start hunting these Lion Chariots and compromising them over time with some damage. And at this point, this would be a good blast. Like if the caster was, if Jimmy was paying attention, this would have been the ideal situation with 3 or 4 units stacked on top of each other to cast that wind blast. But otherwise, he just has no targets for the Searing Dooms, unless like it's super jam-packed with the Searing Doom casting onto like double Tomb Guard or something. The rest of the units are just starting to engage right now, and the lion chariots of Crazy Greed, Jesus, are kind of just trying to rampage to the back. They're doing an okay job, but Tomb Guard are very stalwart. This is a terrible play from Torek. He really should not be trying to summon in skeleton warriors on top of the units here. Also shooting down the this was just a bit of a check. So if Torek looks at this after, he definitely should be clicking on the unit of Kepra Guard and then checking where most of the model. He probably just saw a blob there and then casted his Searing Doom, but he missed the unit that costs a lot, that would have suffered a lot from the Searing Doom. This is also definitely a misplay from Torek, just not moving forward onto the objective to capture it. And also, like, he definitely is under having too many things onto the third objective. He brought so much of his army to the side here and is not even using it or moving forward to capture it with the objectives. This is a good Searing Doom. That was a great Searing Doom from our boy Jimmy, making up for the previous one that was just going on to the Skeleton Spearman. And yeah, this is just a small miss micro opportunity, and also very much being a inexperience with the backline charging probably here, with how many units that he just didn't summon in a horseman immediately to stop the chariots. And the Ushabti Greatbows are actually standing here and kind of trying to shoot, but they're really bad at shooting to this type of trees. I had to drop from the tourney, but if you want to see Gorok again, it was to replay. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going down through the list of the replays and seeing what the matchups are. So that's pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you for informing me, Mask. Other than that, yeah, finally the chariots are being compromised, and finally our boy Torek realized that he can move forward and just freely capture this objective, because most of the army from his opponent is on the other side and also losing here. We also see another very good Searing Doom just dropping onto the Kepra Guard. And this is how you should be using this type of magic, just because you don't have you brought the other two types of casters. That look at how line-centric Torek's armies are. So this entire line could be instantly killed with one Burning Head, which would be very similar to just two of the Searing Dooms over there. So one Burning Head here kills everything except the Tomb Guard, and then Tomb Guard you can just throw in some Oceanids and potentially some other infantry or something that shoots to try and whittle them down. But honestly, with just the army that Jimmy has here, it's gonna be a tough nut to crack with just shooting from the archers. Archers aren't high enough DPS for this stuff to matter, and oh, this is the best wind blast you can get, honestly. Like overcasted, very nice for throughout the entire surface of the opponent's unit, so pretty cool to see. But it's time for the undead tide to come to their inevitable "I am going to stand on your objective and not let you capture anything" time. Especially over here, this is a bit of a misplay, leaving the Ushabti to fight inside of Spearmen, and Spearmen then fully compromising them and killing them a bunch. But if there was like a Tomb Guard standing on top of the Ushabti, those guys could have fought a lot longer. Also, we now see the actual Ushabti trying to shoot. They're kind of shooting, I think, into the, let's see, into the Oceanids, which is a great play. Yeah, they're kind of pre-shooting, but the Oceanids are the closest unit, so they're kind of shooting just into them. Though, definitely over-blobbing from the side of Torek. He should be spreading out all of his units here just to not be able to get, like, shut down from just one spell. Because even a final transmutation here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because there's just so many units, and some of them are skeletons, right? But some of them are also Tomb Guard, and if Archon comes close to, that's just a money shot right there. Buna being thrown onto Silver Helms for a lack of a better target is totally fine too. And then Tomb Guard just running after three cavalry units along with some shitty skeleton spearmen is just chef's kiss. There's just nothing that can stop the undead tide over here. Double Ushabti also being summoned and gonna be charged soon by the Elarian Reavers. Unfortunately, he doesn't notice this like small structure over here, so he is kind of getting delayed by them. And the Tomb Guard, yeah, making sure that none of these units gets to the objective is a really smart play. We kind of see an over correction from our Tomb Guard player in summoning in both of the Ushabti Great Bows. Then again, it's the map that's screwing him over mostly. If this wasn't the map that it is, those Ushabti Great Bows would be gathering up a bunch of value, just shooting into stuff like the Oceanids or the Spearmen even, and just destroying them really quickly. But with how slow they are and how many trees are around there, I don't think they just have any sort of impact. Also, Archon coming in to help the boys, the Illyrian Reavers here, and yeah, they're just gonna get into a melee fight, and with the support of the Storm Riders, they're definitely gonna be losing that fight, and these guys aren't gonna be having the best time. So they're trying to shoot back, but even with guard mode on and shooting, the Illyrian Reavers will eventually fight and win that. And very nice Searing Doom again from Jimmy, going on to double unit, which was double skeleton warriors, and he's kind of actually getting ahead in this game. He now has the summon of Sisters of Avalon. This is what you need. This is a really good summon. Sisters of Avalon are absolute destruction for Tomb Guard units if they're not front facing, and these guys aren't front facing. So the sisters are just having a field day shooting into them. Already getting with 2 volleys, 3 volleys, 350 value is great to see. And it just seems that we will see if Horseman Tide is enough to stop this. And the Ushabti are definitely the main losers here. Like, summoning in double Ushabti on this map is if Torek loses, that is why he lost, because of the double Ushabti summon. These guys do get all of their value, but that one Ushabti that was right here had like 200 value. And in the end, it kind of seems that Searing Doom is paying off. But it is paying off more so because his opponent is playing a very big blobbing game compared to that being a really effective tactic. Unsummoning 4 units at the same time, very scary against undead. But as you can see, he is very close on unit cap, so he might not have enough actual units to even resummon at this point. Definitely should be taking also the caster and putting her onto the objective, just so that she keeps the capture weight there. And this is a really bad play also from Torek in not summoning anything in to go for the third objective, especially now that you see your opponent basically entire unsummon on the opponent's flank, because this is just a ship's company unit. Nobody cares about this unit. This unit is complete garbage, 400 unit that can be overwhelmed just by either one Tomb Guard and forcing a huge response here, or just 2 Spearmen or Skeleton units going over there would definitely be a play. Because at this point, he's just overcompensating with going to his opponent's spawn with a lot of units, and then the High Elf player is having a grand old time just summoning in very, very close to his spawn. Though with losing the Archmage of Metal here, she has 2... Oh, she rallies at the edge of the map. That is so bad. If she, for some reason, just goes off the battlefield, this entire flank can collapse. Very nice Fate Buna also onto the Fireborn here, taking away like half of their HP with just 1 point and clip, or 60% of their HP with 1 point and click. Very unfortunate. Though, at least at this right moment... Oh no! Oh no, Archon is stuck on some Fireborn being backstabbed constantly by them. If they kill Archon, man, if they kill Archon, this game can definitely just be completely over at that point. But even right now, it looks very, very, very Jimmy favored, even with him being 2k ahead on value. 2k just because of the bonus healing. And yeah, the Fireborn have a full surround on Archon. Archon dying right now is definitely the nail in the head. And the Crow Lord, the Archmage, hiding in the corner with flanks secured, with 1 leadership still being not dead, is very much what is currently carrying the game for Jimmy too. Because if he went away, that would have been so difficult to recompromise. Very good Skeleton Warrior summon here to just tarp it enough for Archon to live. Archon doesn't need to not die. He just needs to live longer. And yeah, if he can get away as well, that would be a great thing. But I don't think we just have enough random stuff to try and compromise him. We see Nekakar and Horsemen, but this is like a wet noodle contest, man. Like 38 weapon strength is nothing into a 100 armored cavalry unit. So they're gonna take a 10 years to die. And Archon seems to be long for this, not be long for this world. He's gonna die here, gonna start crumbling very soon, and then with him dead, there's just gonna be enough units to start crumbling all of the undead here. And when they go into crumbling, they just take so much perpetual damage along with just Reavers and the Silver Helms being fully unarmored. But I feel like this was definitely Torik's game to lose when it comes to the units that they had. Uh, with what magic especially Jimmy brought in this matchup, and all of the units that he just had very poor summon priority, and also didn't move forward on like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of the game. He just didn't move forward to capture his opponent's backline objective. Misallocated resources on this flank, unfortunately, and sent too few units here versus too many units to his opponent's side of the objective. And then just a couple of Ushabti throws, with that one Ushabti not being able to actually clean up is quite unfortunate. Because I definitely feel like at the start, when I saw both sides' armies, I definitely feel like Torik had the game with what he had. Let's also check the Fireborn value, which must be insane. Yeah, 1.6k, them being half alive already. Now summoning, and now going on to some Ushabti, like their perfect target. This is their perfect target. A unit that basically has... How is even a construct drained? Come on, man. These guys really shouldn't even have the ability to be tired. They're just constructs. They can't get tired. But yeah, this is like the perfect unit for Fireborn killing. They have basically very low melee attack, relatively low melee defense, monstrous infantry unit that can't fight back. And Fireborn are like, yeah, give me that ass with plus 15 bonus versus large, 90 armor or 120 armor, and then you're like, yeah, I can't do anything here. Very well played to our boy Jimmy. Uh, Definitely could be improved on a couple of fronts, but in general, he played the map well and he played the game well. Like his senses were good. It was just potentially a couple of things when it comes to the army choice that he could improve on, and I think he has this game in the bag and is just fine on High Elves. Let's see. Heaven's Caster doing relatively okay. Sisters of Avalorn paying for themselves, and then the Silver Helms kind of didn't get too much value, but that's not their point. And yeah, the rest of the units just did totally fine. And let's check out the Tomb Guard value. Ooh, not the greatest. Only Archon doing relatively well. You can either go for, like, he definitely went for a full-on stuffing strategy, but most likely just didn't understand the map properly. So his unit summoning capabilities just weren't the best in this game. Let's also check back. Ooh, a Khorne Greenskins game. I definitely would like to see that. That is a really, really nice sounding one. Khorne Greenskins. So we got another Adam game. TL. Perfect. We haven't seen, I think, a game with TL with the Greenskins so far. So this is going to be covering all of the rest of the players, I think. I think we haven't just seen Rogue AI after this. Tobias, I think we've seen. Kane, we have seen. Captain Muffin, we have seen. Pasha Ponti, we have seen. Jimmy, we have now also seen. And yeah, this is, I believe, the last player that we didn't cover at all in this tournament, which is very exciting. So Adam going with Khorne, a couple of Flesh Hounds at the start, and then just another wall similar to his previous game that we watched. This time just having a Forsaken as well. On the side of our Orc boys, we see the Crimson Killers, the Black Orcs. So Black Orcs being a Terminator unit. Why do these guys not have armor piercing? Excuse me? Dual axe infantry? These guys definitely should be having armor piercing. Oh, they have something that gives them armor piercing, so they have unstoppable choppers. Okay. Okay, is my comment on this. So, Yeah, that map wasn't really that good for you. Uh, Double golem. I think you had the game with just it just depends on on the summons. If you check it out when it comes to my comments for the rest of the game, but you could have definitely had that one. It was definitely winnable. We see the Acid Burpa also going into just a bunch of Flesh Hounds, and the Rusty Arrows kind of being too in front of the infantry fight, and the Orc Boys just weren't enough to stop the Flesh Hounds from going in. So Flesh Hounds really having a nice time with the Rusty Arrows. The Crimson Killers now being into the fight is really good. They have really good stats with 41 melee attack here. So as long as they keep, even with them fighting dogs, it's gonna be totally fine. But they really should be going into like Forsaken or Marauders or like Warriors if there are any. And oh no, the Acid Burpa being clapped and then rampaging here. Oh, that is really tough luck for our boy TL. He does pop the Fist of Gork to try and save it in its fight, but Skulltaker hunting something basically means that thing is gonna die over time. And Skulltaker being an absolutely crazy fighter lord, he because he has unyielding assault, he kind of doesn't care if he's fighting in a forest. And on the other side, we also see the Bloodwake Berserkers. Oh no, there's nothing over here. Mangler Squigs? Oh my god, we see Mangler Squigs in this matchup. Mangler Squigs relatively being okay here. They're gonna suicide, right? When they force of total destruction, they can potentially kill the Bloodwake Berserkers. I don't know how that interaction goes, but with Skulltaker also going to that side over there, that's gonna not be a very fun time. And thankfully, the Acid Burpa isn't dead, and the Acid Burpa can potentially just go into this blob and start cleaning everything up. So that is a really good fight. But Adam does have 3 objectives, and is completely destroying his opponent on his home objective. There's just 2 Orc Boys, a Mangler Squig, and Orc Biggins. Orc Biggins aren't gonna have a fun time into Bloodwake Berserkers. That's like their favorite thing to munch up. Anti-large specialist infantry, man. On the other side, we still see Adam holding with just more Ratmongers. Oh, that's a really good pick. Now that everything except the Rugloods is offline, basically, and he sees that his opponent doesn't have any way to kill the Ratmongers super effectively, he just brings out the Ratmongers. And also snipes with... He's playing so well with Skulltaker here. Just taking Skulltaker into the Rugloods, also from the other side of the map. He understands that he wins this fight over here with the Bloodwake Berserkers, and just about nothing that is going to be summoned is going to be able to kill this. And look at these guys. Look at them go. They're just having the best time of their lives. This is so much fun for them. Look at the crazy animations that they have. They're so goofy. And when they die, I believe they just do their Force of Total Destruction, which just destroys everything around them. So yeah, pretty cool unit, honestly. On the other side, we actually see the Ratmongers kind of dying, and that was because of the Acid Burpa basically going poopy on them and running through them. Crimson Killers being full HP still, farming 900 value. That's their dream, man. Their dream is just fighting Khorne all day and all night. On the other side, we still see another Mangler Squig and then Durkit Squigs going into the Bloodwake Berserkers. Adam still holding this objective is really MVP because he is farming 3 tickets a second. And the Bloodwake Berserkers, even with so many specialist armor-piercing anti-infantry units, which is crazy to say, they're just standing their ground, man. They have unyielding assault and immune to flanking themselves. 57-62 is insane stats, and oh my god, we actually see TL tap out of this game because he knows that the flank is lost, and he potentially with Skulltaker on the other side just started losing. Yeah, the Acid Verpa just died, so that was the nail in the coffin with the Rugloods just not doing anything. Rugloods getting 0 kills in this game. That was just a miss micro, sadly, from TL, because the Rugloods were just turned around and too close to the start of the formation at the start. So they just ended up not being very effective here, unfortunately. So from Adam, we see everything just doing relatively okay. Skulltaker taking some skulls, and very nice from the other Wrathmongers. He just had a solid build, solid fighting, and just went forward. Wasn't indecisive at all with what he was doing, with the units that he was doing, and he just showed very good tactical knowledge for, especially for this map. Let's see. Let's check out another Regis game. So we're gonna be back on our Tzeentch train. Hopefully not a Tzeentch mirror. Although Tzeentch mirrors are okay. They're fast paced, like action packed really. Oh, there was a Tzeentch mirror in the previous round. That's pretty funny. So we will at some point end up with Tzeentch, just because there's like 4 Tzeentch players currently in the game. Hopefully we see a rogue AI game. So he's against Japanese Goblin. I might check him. Let's see how the score is doing too. Let me actually show you guys the score too. Browser. Total Tavern. Oh, there we go. So let me just move this over here. So let's check this out. So current standings are Adam is 3-0, undefeated. Regis is also 3-0 with Tzeentch. We saw him in the first game. TL with 2 games. Pasha with 2 games. Kane. Marinos we haven't seen too much, and then Wildfire and Twist sadly has dropped. He said that there is an extra Gorok game. If we want to see it, we will definitely check it out if we have time between the actual matches. So yeah, awesome stuff. Let's just despawn that thing. Yep, despawn that, delete that, and yeah, let's see. GG. It is completely normal for you, especially when you're at the start or at the newer player or intermediate player level. Those types of games are just learning experiences, so don't sweat it too much. It is all a really long learning experience, and this game is very difficult to learn because it is a combination of a strategy game, so you can lose on build screen without lack of knowledge, and you're also having a very tough time with micro, with just a bajillion units, with a bunch of maps, and the game knowledge that is required for this game is truly impressive if you do have it. It's just reps in, reps in, reps in. Like every time you just need more reps into the game. Actually, double check. I definitely should also just go to the toilet, so be right back in a sec, guys. We're back. Oh, we're gonna see a cock? Damn. Damn, we actually see a non-meme cock in this game. Let's see, spawn, triple Centigore. So he's basically banking on winning the mobility game. We actually see a Chosen. We see double Chosen and then Severed Claw too. Oh, that's really cool. This is probably Green Knight with 1800 cost. So I would assume that this is Green Knight. I think he costs that much. We also see Cultists. If Nalnish watches this, he's going to be very sad that this isn't a double Changebringer going invisible with Skarsnik game. So, yeah. Shout out to our boy Nalnish. And yeah, Severed Claw being really good here, just because they can hunt anything that's big. But the problem with them is that they really, really don't like fighting into stuff like Red Crested Skinks. And honestly, I expected way more Red Crested Skinks on this side. So with with just 2 Red Crested Skinks, I think this is totally fine. But without just taking a bunch of them, I feel like this is completely fine for Tzeentch. They absolutely hate Tzeentch absolutely hates Red Crested Skinks just because you probably go for an armored wall, and otherwise you just have Infinity Javelins to contest with the blues and pinks, right? So Infinity Shooting is really good. Also Slans. Slans are so effective with what they do, which is crazy. 1400 for this bad boy. You get Banishment, you get Buna, you get Greater Arcane Conduit, and you also get like Cold-Blooded Shield of the Old Ones. Crazy value for 1400. On a Caster Lord with 6.5 k HP and 35% missile resistance, like that deal is insane for any faction, and Lizards just get it. So yeah, going really, really tall on the side of Tzeentch, also bringing a cultist with just Burning Head Kindle Flame to clear out the Infinity Skinks that are going to be on this side, and that is very well targeted because there is going to be Infinity Skinks. We also see a resurgence of Cold One Riders, which is good because Cold One Spear Riders aren't that useful in this matchup, just because what is big here, just the Senties, right? And you kind of can just fight the Senties with just a bunch of Skinks or tar pit them into Skinks, and then fight them with Javelins and stuff like that. So this is, I feel like, a completely fine game. For our Lizardmen player, I would say that it is definitely Lizardmen favored. But with the lack of armor piercing, it could go to Tzeentch depending on what the fights look like. Especially with, like, Severed Claw has nothing to fight into, but there's also nothing to kill Severed Claw, and also the Chosen too. So it is, or there is Buna technically to kill the Chosen, but it's not the most effective thing, right? Buna is very, very expensive. You just get 3 of them, and especially if he didn't bring life leeching, I don't remember. He's not gonna have 4. Which kind of sucks, but yeah, I don't remember if our Lizardman brought Buna. If he brought life leeching. If you didn't know, Buna is what, 22, I believe, right? 22 WOM. So the way that it works is you can get 3 Bunas because that's 66 WOM. You get 80 WOM per game, so you get 3 Bunas. 3 Bunas being 66. For it to be 88, you would need 2 more WOM. And you get 2 more WOM if you take life leeching. He didn't take life leeching. That is a thing. Yeah. So the math does what the math does. So with life leeching, you get 1.5 WOM back for each cast. So 3 casts would give you enough WOM to overshoot, or you get 2.5, pardon. So 3 casts would give you enough WOM to overshoot for the amount of extra WOM that you actually need to cast an extra Buna. It works out like perfectly for it. So if you're ever bringing just a Buna caster, definitely do bring life leeching if you're bringing just Buna, just to get 1 extra in. And yeah, a very, very cheap, very, very tall, pardon, army from our Tzeentch player, and everything from Marinos is just frontline loaded. So let's see how this goes. Definitely the Skinks will get all, maybe even the 3rd objective if he goes greedily for it, with just like leaving 1 Skink Chameleon here and then going with 2 immediately to the other side. Oh, did I reset the camera? Let's set up the camera. Okay. So with him going over there, if I saw this, I would just run towards this objective just to contest it, even if I didn't do too much for it. And you guys can bet on to what this guy is, but 1800 kind of spells what it is, which would be magic damage. Magic damage deals. This map being really, really big. Unfortunately, neither side has any sort of artillery to take advantage of it. It's just going to be a skink tide against a super elite force from lizards. And with the lizards seeing that there is just one type of thing that shoots from Tzeentch, they can actually go like this frontally and try to shoot into them. But these guys are absolute giga chads, man. They're going to shoot back. And they have so much HP per model, even with just the missile resistance that skinks get, that these skinks get. I feel like these guys just don't care about any peppering. They just now lost all their shields, so they're kind of, again, totally fine. It's kind of annoying having your skinks shooting into the severed claw, but again, if the Tzeentch player plays it properly, which he is currently, he can just move back and then wait for the shield to regenerate and then not lose any models, and your opponent just wasted like 3 shots, right, per one of the units. So in this matchup, actually, Tzeentchian Mark is okay, I guess, compared to the other ones. What the hell is this? What is this? Techless? Faint and riposte? What the fuck is this? What did he turn into? I was not expecting the captain of the Phoenix Guard. I guess, okay. He just turned into a silver helm? Or whatever. Oh, he turned into Caradrin. That's Caradrin. I forgot the animation for him. But, oh my god. Put Caradrin? Really? Taking the fucking Mortis engine? Just for getting the Mortis engine and for the heal? Oh my god, what a crazy turn in from Regis. Yeah, that's Caradrin. That's insane. I don't think I've ever once seen a foot Caradrin and not even like him giving Captain of the Phoenix Guard to Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch of all things. And then they're just gonna go into and fight. Oh my god, what a crazy, crazy play. So Furies absolutely destroy Skinks, so if they ever get caught, but the Skinks can just run away and just pew pew in the back while they're running away. Severed Claw just being just now going into combat, so they still have 0 with everything that they do have. We hear a Buna going. No, please don't tell me. No, Marinos, you don't know Buna rules. No. So he basically either misclicked. Is this a chosen unit? Over here, no, it's not. It was just a knowledge check here. So if you guys didn't know, when it comes to Buna type spells, it does say strong versus 25 or more entities. Buna basically does no damage into Severed Claw. Because you can check out the values of it. It's like 140 per unit, but per like model. But these models have 1,000 HP per model. So they kind of just don't take any damage from Buna, so you should never be using Buna on anything that's fewer than 25 models. And anything that's fewer than 25 models also gets cut in the damage that it takes in this way, so it's just not very effective. And the Severed Claw kind of don't care. These chameleon skinks are just having the time of their lives shooting into the super elite. Here, they're not doing too much damage and not getting too much value because these guys have 120 armor, but it's still like pretty cool to see, I guess. On the other side, we see Chaos Warriors into Skinks. Skinks are gonna lose that over time. It's just gonna take them a hot minute. But the problem with our boy Tzeentch is, like always, Tzeentch just has a huge difficulty getting onto objectives. Just because everything is so expensive. Did we see another Buna? My Mad Lad literally Buna'd Severed Claw twice. That's crazy. So after the game, just know that definitely you should be using Buna onto, let's say, the Chosen here. The Chosen here would take like 60% HP damage from like one Buna, while Severed Claw take like 10 to 15%. It's just due to the model counts and how Buna works. The other side, we see Toad Rage pop. Toad Rage, this is a great play. So Toad Rage giving 201 weapon strength to our boy Ripperdactyls. Ripperdactyls also have good enough stats to be able to fight into the Chosen. Like, they have 60 melee defense, but these guys are going to hit at some point, and they're really, really good because they're monstrous. So that is a great play. Nasty burning head down the pipeline of all of the skinks. The skinks, though, keep their shit together and aren't cracking under the pressure or under the fire. And Cold One Spear Riders going into the Centigores on a counter charge is money. Money. Also, one more extra Cold One Spear Rider detaching. If they don't let these Centigores disengage, that is a huge fight for a Lizardmen player over here. And the Colostodon Hunters absolutely clearing up the Exalted Pinks and the Chosen here. Chosen never even arriving on the objective. They did get kind of like 600 value, 700 value by the time they die, but it's not the best. And getting in 2 Fury units is a good play. Furies are really good into Cold One Spear Riders because one, they deny them the charge. Second, these guys have pretty bad melee attack and relatively low DPS, so they're not going to do like the most amazing job. And we see Severed Claw, on poor Severed Claw, surrounded by Infinity Saurus Warriors and Skinks. The worst fight that they could have is into stuff like this. They just do, or the worst fight is probably into just the Red Crested Skinks, because those guys have armor piercing and then they can also wreck this stuff, but they hate fighting chaff units. Very nice attempt on the dodge, and because this is just Saurus Warriors have 60 armor and relatively high HP per model, so they kind of don't care about the Burning Head, and it's now just Lizardmen all over. This game is pretty much over. There is pretty much nothing that Regis can unfortunately do into here. And it is kind of a meme. He freaking brought Caradron of all things here. Like, the guy doesn't, if he wanted a Mortis engine, he definitely should have brought something different. Maybe like Scylla and Fingrim or something, I don't know. Just for the Mortis engine into the Skinks. But even with that, this is just a meme pick, honestly. And yeah, this game pretty much over. There's a spawn coming in, but there's Infinity Saurus Spears here. There's 2 Cold One Spear Riders, and I believe we can exit out of this game just to check out a couple of replays at this point. Can't see the values, unfortunately, because it's a live game. Replay still hasn't been generated. So let's check out a Empire into a Rogue AI. So Tobias into Rogue AI. I don't believe we've seen a Rogue AI game so far, so very much interested to see how he's doing. He seemed to be doing good based on the score. Let's also double check the bracket to see how everything is going. Is this a 4-round tournament? It's a 5-round tournament. Okay, just double checking. Oh, actually no games have finished so far. Quite cool to see. So we see Elspeth. Oh, not cancel. My bad there. So we see Elspeth with a huge battle line of just Sigmarites and the double captains. Are the captains on foot? They are. Okay, good. So captains on foot being really nice here. Elspeth being really good too, with Purple Sun, Spirit Leech, and Death's Timekeeper. She can go and potentially snipe the opponent's lord. We see the Changeling to the side here trying to do some transformation shenanigans, and then blues and pinks being fully functional on the front line. Zangors in this matchup are relatively good, just because they have shields and they have relatively good melee defense. So Silver Shields, also Primal Fury or whatever it's called. Yeah, Primal Fury gives them relatively good melee attack. They can just move forward. But the problem in this matchup is what we see here. So it's Herge Jaegerkorps and the Hawkland Long Rifles just being able to shoot infinity into the blues and pinks. And if we don't see a Green Knight this time from a Rogue AI, I think this is just a tough point. Elspeth is a good pick, but usually in this matchup you can bring just silver bullets if you're not afraid, but you could also just bring a light caster with either net or just shems and the light passive, so that you can proc the passive to get give your entire army magic damage to deal with stuff like the Green Knight. Because in this game, the thing you're most afraid of is Green Knight. Very smartly, very nice nice tactics from Rogue AI. Just going onto the objectives frontally with very few units, so that he's not being compromised by the long rifles. Honestly, Tobias could move up just a tiny bit, so that he would be in the firing line for all of the units that are standing here, and either force Rogue AI back or force him to take some damage onto the units that he has currently, because at this point he's just freely giving his opponent the objective, and as we see, he's doing that a bit right now, but it's still not close enough to compromise here, because Tzeentch can't really rush you. You see that everything here, and it's just blues and pinks. They're not really that good in like just normal combat. So it's just totally fine for you to advance to like right here, and then either force Rogue AI back, and then you can take both of the objectives and fight for the third one with your like skirmish core, or just yeah, that's it. Very nice charge into the blues. If he disengages very fast, that is a just net win, net positive win. Elspeth being forward, trying to take the objective, that's going to take 10 years. And yeah, you're just not gathering value with your Hawklands. So Hawklands require you to have damage over time for you to gather value on them. And you not just using them to do the skirmish game, even if it's just shooting into Zangors, which are silver shielded, they still have shield breakers, so they're going to be totally fine in shooting into them. And yeah, oh, that's interesting. You actually have a viable change, in the shield icon when they get shot by shield breaker. I didn't see that ever. And as we see, like Rogue AI is just choosing to go backwards, which is smart. But with Tobias not moving forward to capitalize on it, he's just sitting on a triple cap in a defensive position, not getting value from his boys. This is quite unfortunate. He could still be doing some skirmishing here. I think he also forgot about this Empire unit, which could potentially just die to some pink spam over here. Thankfully, he sees it and then moves back. And yeah, he's playing way too timidly. Like, the Tzeentch is not going to rush you. There is nothing to rush with. And at this point, 1900, probably saving for the Royal Outdoor fights at this point, or maybe even a cavalry, not a cavalry, a artillery unit to try and shoot Tzeentch off the spawn or something. But yeah, very... no, it's getting pretty late over here. Yeah, just awkwardly not using his units, unfortunately. We see a couple of Forsaken, very smartly placing Tobias. This is a smart play. Smartly placing just one shitty unit in the middle of the trees, so that you can spot any type of flanking maneuver here. And as Rogue AI is technically moving his Forsaken over there. Shrieking Sky Rays and the Furies just trying to screen, just moving into position to try and compromise her Jaeger Corps and long rifles. And now he's actually getting some damage, and he's forcing... This is what he should have been doing the entire time. Then he can just move back. If he wants to play the long game, he can just move back a bit with his front line to here, and then wait for either the overcommitment from Tzeentch or the classic fight. And then yeah, if Tzeentch doesn't move up forward enough, they're just gonna keep getting shot, and you losing over time your pinks and blues to just long rifles isn't the best feeling. Let's see the rest of the game. So over here, Fury's getting absolutely destroyed by the Sterling's Revenge. Oh, nope, never mind. It was just the Knights of the Black Rose, it seems. Yeah, Knights of Black Rose along with some Pistoliers. So very nice stop on them. And unfortunately, we do see the Furies getting onto one of the Hawklands. And even with Elspeth and the Demigryph Knights jumping onto them, these guys absolutely get shredded with half of their damage, half of their HP being gone. Is this a Final Transmutation? What is that caster? Yeah. Final Transmutation, very nice cast. There should definitely also be a Searing Doom over here. If he has Searing Doom, he does. Skull of Catan being popped. here probably too for... Oh, did he use it? Yeah, he did use it to pop it onto Elspeth. Elspeth being half HP is a bit of a compromise over time. But Rogue AI smartly now has the objectives. He played smartly to get into it. Though he did sacrifice the Shrieking Skyrays into the back a bit, unfortunately, to the Demigryphs, just farming them. And yeah, Hergy Jaeger Corps still being alive. Hawklung long rifles will come back. But these silver bullets weren't used to their full potential. They just ran from one Fury unit, and just now they're starting to shoot into something. If he kind of just shoots into the Sorcerer, potentially, and kills him, there is a chance. But at this point, I think it's a very, very favored, at least, for Rogue AI at the moment. Demigryph Knights also isolating the Changeling here is a really good play, but we see an overcasted Plague of Rust with some shooting from the blues into the Demigryphs. Oh, such a good play. Like a classic combo is Plague of Rust overcasted with some type of shooting from Tzeentch, because Tzeentch doesn't have too much armor piercing here. Sour Guts kind of shooting into the Sterling's Revenge, but there's still Silver Bullets, Hawklands. Oh no, the backline is being compromised by Santigors though. Now with the Hergy Jaeger Corps dead, potentially also the Silver Bullets being bombarded with a perfect army ability from a Rogue AI. That's a great, great play from Rogue AI. Basically using using the army ability to instantly wipe out one of the best carry pieces for the Empire right now. And these guys will probably break at some point. And now with the shooting compromised, it is definitely Rogue's game to lose. There is still a bunch of Knights of the Black Rose though. And if we check the rest of the objectives, Rogue AI is actually losing the objectives. I didn't see that there was an extra mobility core to the side here fighting. And Empire Knights kind of being supported by Pistoliers with this Santigors over here. We see a Searing Doom that was very well dodged by Tobias here. And Tobias is 2k ahead. 2k ahead being probably like 500 ahead just because of the shields of the entire game. But Empire has all three objectives at this point. This Empire captain just standing here for Sigmar, standing on the objective, and oh, he goes off the objective for a bit, but he's probably gonna come back. And with the summon of Shrieking Skyrays, this is gonna be really difficult, man. Like, Shrieking Skyrays definitely ain't it here. And I am noticing a very high lack of any other sort of mobility. And a lack of, honestly, Forsaken in this matchup too. I think also the Devotees could also cook really well here. But yeah, very, very high lack. Oh, what the fuck am I talking about? For a moment I switched that this wasn't Tzeentch, that this was Slanesh. And I was like, because a Rogue AI constantly plays Slanesh. And just forgot for a moment that this wasn't Slanesh. So, Shrieking Skyrays going into the grenade launchers being really annoying here. They can clear out infinity units. Oh my god, 900 value. With them being full HP here, really, really good. Also, Hergy Jaeger Corps just about paying for themselves. Stern's Revenge just about paying for themselves. And I see Rogue AI successfully repelled from all of the objectives except this one. But with Halberdiers coming in, Knights of the Black Rose, and also the Silver Bullets also coming back with 20 models. Honestly, could probably resummon them or unsummon them, but they actually got 600 value. That is more than expected from how they started this game off. So this is probably just going to be a cleanup crew from Empire. There's too few units, and oh no, summoning in Severed Claw. There's still Hergy Jaeger Corps, there's Sterling's Revenge, and there is the Silver Bullets here. They're just not going to have a nice time here. So they're just going to be compromised by a bunch of the shooting. Also, with them getting onto the objective, it's going to stop. But 2-1 now, and just Zangors being summoned out. I think just an Empire Knight and a grenade launcher can... Yeah, grenade launcher immediately booking it for the Zangors, with just the grenades being the support piece of unit. A very nice job with Rogue AI trying to compromise this, but I feel like after the terror route, these guys will just come back here, try to fight for it, honestly. That's what I would do. And now with the triple cap in Tobias's favor, This is definitely a misplay on either not on summoning or not properly using the pistoliers in the back over here, but it does seem like there's just no time for Rogue AI to win now. With these two spearmen and halberds just standing onto the objective. Oh, we also see a cheeky spirit leech in the end over here to try and finish off the what is it, the changeling, but it just doesn't work. Unfortunate and very well played to Tobias, honestly. But I think like this is just a mismatch from Rogue's army. There were no carry pieces in his entire army. Like he just had nothing. Aspiring champions as your carry piece into Empire. Where are they gonna be fighting? Also, again, Gilles being good, but just not being the carry that he needed to be, and then the rest of the army just not being properly selected. I think. The rest of this, let's see. Hergy Jaegerpor, Hawklands doing relatively fine. Silverbolt's almost paying for themselves. Two Empire captains, they were just there to stand on the objectives and basically capture them. Elspeth doing relatively okay. And then Sterling's Revenge, man. They were really, really pissed this game. And then they got so much value. Also, Knights of the Black Rose, really good. And yeah, grenades. Just a solid build from Tobias here, honestly. Let's check out how the next round is heading. And if we have enough time for another game. There's just one more game, and it's Ponty. So, yeah, very nice to see. I might just do one extra round because it's getting so late here, almost 12. So I will probably just do one extra round and then maybe a replay or two and then head out because the European time has changed. So I am basically 1 hour later than the previous times that we have streamed this. So yeah, it is getting quite late here, unfortunately. I might cast the finals as just separate videos, just so that we can give some shine to our intermediate players. Let me also double check how we're doing. Awesome stuff. Oh, right. If you guys are also interested in this type of content when it comes to the just general Warhammer battles, be sure to both like the stream and also to subscribe for the channel. Does help us grow. And yeah, we're almost we're 400 away from actually being monetized, which is super cool to see. Especially because I really didn't think that Warhammer content would pop up as much as it did. But yeah, super happy to see that all of you are enjoying the casted high-level battles from Warhammer League. So be sure to stop by when it comes to generally Warhammer League content. And yeah, if you also have any types of questions for some matchups and stuff, be sure to post them. Let me just double check if there is an extra replay. There is a couple more replays. I'm going to download them for after. There's a Tzeentch mirror. I want to see that, honestly. Let me just pop in the replays. So, replay. I want to see the armies first. The Tzeentch mirror. Double Doom Knight, man. Oh, that is a classic. This is a classic two-way of thinking when it comes to a Tzeentch mirror. This is so interesting to see. So based on the armies, you see like Severed Claw, Double Doom Knight, and Sartorial. So Double Doom Knight Sartorial basically tells you that you want to fight for the air game and also the Rock of Inevitability, right? And then you have the Mind Game counter from Regis here, which is Soul Grinder, and then Kairos with blue fire spam. And also even Void Pendulum denying his opponent magic. That is so interesting to see. I'll definitely cast this game after the next round one. Or we can actually just jump in. I don't see I still see that Ponty is doing the game. Oh, he just finished, unfortunate. But let's speed through this one. I'm really interested to see how it went. I'd assume that if properly microed, it is Rogue AI who won. But if there is lack of micro, I would give it to Regis based on the armies. Especially if he bring... Oh, whoops. Oh, no. How do I undo this? Okay, tab undoes this. So Soul Grinder, Kairos going forward. It's gonna be blue fire spam into the Oblivion. I would just blue fire spam honestly Sartorial here and try to fight for that. But with this is so goofy. Like nothing can kill the Severed Claw in this game. Literally nothing. Yeah, just about nothing in the entire roster that he brought can kill the Severed Claw. Overextending with Kairos. Oh no, there's a final transmutation upgraded here. And also hitting double horseman. Ooh, Sartorial. If Sartorial dies here, it's game over. And I think there's also a Tzeentchian fire ability that can go on to him. But next final transmutation, he's cooked. Like, he can just be instantly killed over there. Also, yeah, he sees his opponent has basically nothing onto objective number 1. So he's just going to move his squad of double blues and Severed Claw there. And yeah, move forward. Sartorial also being relatively okay. Still fighting over here. And Soul Grinder, man, what an undercooking Soul Grinder, unfortunately. It's because of the trees, man. The trees on this map really screw up a bunch of the shooting. But you can see that there's Doom Knights. These guys are being like fully okay with HP. And then the other Doom Knights are just being microed to try and go out of the firing line. And no, Chaos Furies definitely aren't the cooking units against Doom Knights, but a double combo of them can potentially drag them down just because they have soaking shots. So they have something to soak into. Very nice Gaze of Fate here. Basically compromising an entire Doom Knight unit. These guys are going to get like 200 or 400 value. And with them instantly dead, look at that, 80% HP instantly dead from just one Gaze of Fate. The problem is the other objective. So we're going to speed this up just so that we can get into an extra game round. Oh, very nice compromise from the Furies tactically onto the Centaurs. Centaurs hate Furies because they deny their charge, so they can't fight. But it's still magic damage. It's still magic damage because it's Tzeentch, so they actually do well into here. And there's the other final transmutation. With Kairos going down, I think this is pretty much over. Kairos kind of... Oh no, he gets charging plus 15. He's still at 2 leadership. Crazy. He actually lives. Man, if Kairos dies there, this game is instantly over. But Sartorial is there for that chicken ass. And he's just charging in 19 HP on Sartorial. On Kairos. Oh my god, he dies. Finally, freaking dies. And we see the Changebringers coming in, just cooking the rest of the Tzeentchian army, going into Furies. Oh, but it seems that Regis is kind of taking over the game. Where's the Severed Claw? Severed Claw kind of doing nothing here. Just fighting the Soul Grinder. Soul Grinder getting 1.1k value. A bit unfortunate, but okay. I guess Sartorial lands into the Pink Horse, but the Pink Horse kind of don't care. Neither for the Severed Claw, neither for them. The only advent that these guys have is magic damage against them. But with the overwhelming majority of units here... Oh, is that a dodge? That is a partial dodge on the army ability. Regis is kind of ahead on points. A bit. And ahead on army, honestly. Just him having so much army that can just stand on the points definitely favors him with so many... such a good ticket lead here. Also... If you're losing your backline objective, which he will not probably because this is that's a chosen of Tzeentch Halberd. Oh no, never mind. That guy is gonna grind it out. And with Rogue AI taking 2 objectives, Kairos being resummoned. Oh, that is difficult. That is difficult to judge at this point because Kairos resummon is really expensive. With this kit, he's probably like 2.2k. And I don't know if there is enough units to properly stand on the ground. But it seems that Regis did bring enough just Sentis to start compromising the mobility game, and Rogue AI didn't recycle his Sentis properly. He does capture the backline objective, and yeah, it's now just a 1 cap situation over here, which is also very unfortunate with Regis taking one of the army abilities into the Chosen, into the back, and then compromising them. He held this objective long enough so that he can just hunker down on the last objective and win there. Also, a very good Gaze of Fate over there. Very, very cool game. Very big plays from both sides. And yeah, it just seemed that the Doom Knights did not cook enough. And then it wasn't the Chosen also weren't the play there. And let's catch the last game that we can. So Adam, yeah, Adam currently only has one open spec slot, so let's spectate Adam. He's also the current leader, I believe, with winning every single game there. Oh, he's against Marinos. Perfect. Oh, it's against Lizardmen. Oh, that is an RIP into Lizardmen there, man. So let's see. Adam being 3 wins. He probably lost 1 game, it seems. Yeah, 3 wins. He lost the previous round into Pasha, the VM player. So there is now no undefeated players, but we do have a couple of top 4 contenders. It really does come down to who wins here. Adam did get an easier opponent when it comes to the points, and also technically for this, like Khorne into Lizardmen is usually a good matchup for Khorne. It depends, but it depends on what type of game you go for. But usually it's very favored, as well as also the only way that I found that you can play this game is either go Gorok or you go Nakai. Nakai with a rampage blob with some spanking paddle dinosaurs is really, really good here. Especially on a map like Cursed Oasis, where there's a lot of condensed fighting on the middle objective. You kind of don't move from the middle objective too much. Kind of just fight there. So if you take a Nakai with like double Croxigor, like cohort of Quaddle and Sotek, and then just stand in the middle of the objective, basically taunting your opponent. And then even if there's Skull Taker and he charges in, if he doesn't have super elite help, which is like Slaughter Guard or something, he's gonna have a very difficult time clearing everything up, and so you're gonna kind of win the melee fight there, which we will see. We will definitely see. With as it currently stands, Slaughter Guard is a good unit. Like no elite infantry in this game is like amazing, but Slaughter Guard is probably one of the best units that exist. It's Mark of Khorne, so 35% spell resist. It's unyielding assault, so they have basically they can't lose any melee attack. They have 65 melee defense. They're halberd units. They got 130 armor. They have frenzy, so they're gonna have a grand old time fighting some dinosaurs, man. And yeah, Bastildons, Art of Sotek, okay, but yeah, probably not what I would choose here. I would probably, it is definitely a misplay in the army screen to not have all of the red crested skinks in this game. Red crested skinks are probably your best bet into anything that is armored, but it kind of is showing that Adam isn't even taking the heavy armored stuff in this game. There isn't enough Forsaken, which I don't know. Forsaken, probably, yeah, probably just because you have Frenzy on every single unit on the roster, Forsaken kind of aren't the play here. Even though they love munching up skinks. But yeah, if you overplay into the red crested skinks and you have just a bunch of Forsaken, you're just kind of losing value. Same with the Chaos Warriors when you think about it more. Love the dogs. Dogs are great in this matchup. Also, 1 Minotaur of Khorne, really good to have just in case. And we see the Knights of the Brazen Throne, the super cool guys. Knights of the Brazen Throne, one of the best infantry clearing units in the game. But you have to, they can lose you the game too. Because if you charge them and there's like a Cold One Spear Rider, just this bad boy, Hopak cohort, just standing there, ready with a boner to charge into them, that can be a downturn. Also, Gelblom's Terror, Feral Carnosaur, that's Giga Chad moves right there. I love the inclusion of this. Even though there's nothing here that they that can properly fight. Maybe like Knights of the Brazen Throne, but even these bad boys would probably kick its ass. But yeah, that's a super cool include, but that's more style points than proper usage points, honestly. We also see the Star Chamber Guardians, Temple Guard, again, probably overshooting for it. Like these guys are not gonna have a fun time because everything is armored, not too much is big, and if it's properly indexed by Adam, I think he even went for a Hellforge Bellowers. This is great because lizards, if they don't go for like the Stegodons or uh, the solar engines, they kind of can't shoot into the Hellforge Bellowers, and even if they shoot, it's not the most cost effective thing in the world. So you kind of don't want to focus it, and you can dodge too. Very very good inclusion. I like the addition of the Hellforge Bellowers just to clear out the Infinity elite stuff, not the Skinks. The Skinks you don't care for because Marauders are gonna trade into everything. You do care about the Star Chamber Guardians and the rest of the elite stuff, definitely. So yeah, let's wait for them to deploy and then see how this game goes. At this point, I think I would just give it to Adam based on the army composition, but that could definitely change. It all depends on how they actually play out the game, as always. We also see Buna and Banishment. These are okay spells into Khorne, even though, but again, not taking the life leeching is definitely a mistake, just because you get one extra cast of Buna, which can be really good in a game. On the side of Adam, he's probably just gonna go for the middle objective and the left one. Maybe leave one Forsaken to go for the outside and then back up if he sees too many units going for it. But yeah, other than that, we see the Bastildons with the Art of Sotek. Did I fix the map? The speed? Okay, I did. So the Art of Sotek is an interesting ability. It gives the poison, which basically says that it's gonna slow down and debuff everything in the blob. So I assume he's just gonna go for the middle objective, and then yeah, then just stand on the middle objective, shoot constantly, and then be in melee fight. With this being the debuff that it does. While Adam is, yeah, as we thought, gonna go for the objective 3. Maybe go for one unit as a summon later on. And then fight in the trees here. He likes the trees. He can just maneuver the Hellforge Bellowers left and right. He doesn't want to be in open field in case there are something like Salamanders, if they're something like Bastillodons, if there's something like what are they called? The Bastillodons and the what the harpoon launcher called. I completely forget what the harpoon launcher is called. The guy with the like 360 range that's basically a ballista. But yeah, the scooters of doom drifting on out, going frontline. It's so funny that out of everything, like the most advanced technology is like Khorne just being on a motorbike in this game, which is pretty funny. And then like them having a basically modified attached asshole that shoots at units through through just fire and brimstone. I guess any map that is not completely flat is subject to change by the Hellforged Bellowers because it's just gonna have terrible shot accuracy, man. It's so garbage when it tries to shoot half of the time. And yeah, this is not a good shot for it. It's gonna hit the trees. We're waiting for the... Oh! Actually does an okay shot there. Three of the 4 missiles actually do hit there. Interesting. Though that is not a good fight that the Forsaken want. Forsaken charge into the cohort of Sotek. If they also pull up Refuse to Die, this is like the perfect fight for them. But I think they are not popping the Refuse to Die, unfortunately, here. Also, Bastillodon going in and shitting itself with the poison and Sotek's poison. So this unit is massively debuffed right now, and that is definitely a losing fight for Adam over time. Though Skull Taker just going into the javelins, nothing that can stop him. He's probably the main bully of this game, like the absolute ultimate raid boss that can't be stopped there. Very nice banishment also to the side here, and it's a smart banishment because banishments can't go through these types of things. So that is just a banishment that's not going to rotate to one side. And no, don't use the Hellforge Bellows to shoot into that stuff. You gotta go back. And I think Adam took too wide of a fight, at least here. Also, being compromised with the dogs. The dogs being charged by Cold One Spear Riders definitely isn't the best. He notices and backs up away immediately, which is a great play, leaving them in Marauders and Marauder dual weapons. This is going to be a winning fight for Adam over time, just because there's so much chaff that is just clearing stuff out. But he has no way to kill the Bastildons except the Minotaurs with great weapons. And this is a great play from Adam, trying to compromise them. He definitely, though, should be, like, even in the heat of the battle, you gotta look at where your units are. These guys are just in a line waiting at the grocery store to start fighting the Bastildon, instead of just having one more extra movement to go frontally and then fight them. And definitely should be backing off from the Star Chamber Guardians. Those guys are gonna destroy the Minotaurs. This is like their dream fight. We also need to find where the Slaughter Guard went. Or did he not even go for the Slaughter Guard in the end? That's unfortunate. Okay. Hellforge Bellows just pew-pewing. How much is getting? 600. Not the greatest of value, but this is definitely a huge misplay from Adam. Keeping the Minotaurs fighting, and this is his only Minotaur unit from what we saw in the army. So this is his carry piece that is supposed to kill the Bastildons, that is fighting in a blob against Skinks, and Star Chamber Guardians, which are the ultimate carry piece, the ultimate anti-piece for them. Red Crested Skinks end up fighting over the classic Marauder Tide on this side, and I think Adam just went too wide. He just engaged in too many fronts at the same time, and then the Bastillodons, with some Saurus support, actually did win all of the engagements on all of the sides. And also, on top of that, throwing the Minotaurs of Khorne over here. Star Chamber Guardians getting 900 value. Even with so little, they cost like 950. It's gonna be on Skull Taker's back to try and win this game. But with Marinos basically taking over every single one of the objectives too, he just destroyed all of the pressure that Adam had with the frontal fight. And with just being 400 down, this game looks very, very over. Like, if you look, there's just the Knights of the Brazen Throne, and they're being used on the side. Your carry piece that is 1900 or however much, 1850 or something, is being used as a capture weight on an objective that you're not fighting on. This is a tip to all players. Whenever you're summoning in something to go for a side cap objective, it needs to be the cheapest thing that you can possibly have. Because one Marauder has more capture weight than your Knights of the Brazen Throne that are now not compromising everything that is over here. And he doesn't even capture the objective, which is very unfortunate. He sees the Khorngors are going over there, so he definitely should have either summoned in the Khorngor first to go for the objective. But honestly, at this point, the objectives kind of don't matter. Your carry unit needs to carry, and it needing to carry means that it needs to be inside of the middle of the fight constantly. And this is a good charge for them. Them charging in through the Star Chamber Guardians is a great thing, because they can potentially kill the Star Chamber Guardians. Though these guys kind of held, it was an awkward charge from the side, and they're still Omega Halberd units, which are going to compromise this entire blob. And with the Sotex poison here, they are going to be dragged down as well, unfortunately. So minus 20 from double poison here onto them, just having 45 weapon strength compared to the normal 70 something. And yeah, on the other side, we do see another Khorngor just chasing off a Feral Cold One with some Marauder Horsemen. This is a nice play, but it really comes down to just being here in the middle. And now your super elite unit just got 600 value, got routed. and then got killed because there was no support in the middle there, unfortunately. Skull Taker trying to potentially kill the Slann, but the Slann kind of juked him and then left the Cold One Spear Riders to surround Skull Taker here, and he's going to be also falling here. So unfortunately, seems like Adam is definitely out of the count for this game. He just didn't respect the Star Chamber Guardians enough, honestly, and also a small misplay on the side objective, just bringing in super elite unit over there and fighting on like too long of a front. This is a great fight because you have Khorne Gores fighting into Saurus. They have good armor piercing qualities, so they're gonna fight okay, and being supported by Marauder Horsemen is gonna whittle down these guys over time, but it's just a bit too much. Hellforged Bellowers also unfortunately had some difficulties fighting over here, and didn't properly fight the Star Chamber Guardians too. Like if it was constantly shooting into these guys, I think it would have had a much better time. Yeah, Adam's still fighting it out like the champion of Khorne that he is. And oh no, Feral Cold Ones also found the Marauder Horsemen here. They kind of also are fighting them off, honestly. But with the Rampage now, they're just going to be like chased off the objective. And here come the Red Crested Kings. This is their favorite thing in the world. Fighting 60 armored infantry or 80 armored infantry, especially with them being aquatic, is a pretty funny thing. You just get from 7+ from terrain if they fight in water, and this is waters, and they're the hidden aquatic stat. And now they're not being nothing to kill the Bastildons still. Slann is surrounded by the dogs. Pops shielded the old ones to defend himself, and oh, this is a very good assassination attempt. But the Bastildon just charges in to stop everything, and the Feral Cold Ones also being really good mass basically says that this blob cannot be compromised. Art of Sotek actually being pretty good this game, like just popping it constantly into a blob, and then also dropping Buna as a BM into the Knights of the Brazen Throne, just finishing them off. They kind of ended up getting 700, which is not terrible, but definitely not what you want to get from your carry piece unit. On the other side, we see the bunch of skinks basically win this game, win the flank completely, and there's a bit of a resurgence in the middle here, just because there's some terror routing going on from Skulltaker being very, very spooky. But unfortunately, I don't think it's enough. There's 2 Khorne Gores chasing after the Star Chamber Guardians, but if one of the... So this is now a misplay of allocation. Definitely Marinus should see what's happening in going for the middle objective, and then he should bring like either both of the Red Cresteds or just a Saurus and a Red Crested back to the middle point, just so that he doesn't lose on points. This is also a smart play, like him summoning in a 500 unit and then putting them onto just capture objective duty forces out a Chaos Warhound summon from Adam there to try and defend it, and they're not going to be winning the fight against the Feral Cold One. Though I think we do see the Slann bit the dust at this point. And damn, this is kind of turning into a turnaround from Adam here. Even with losing a couple of his carry pieces, his Skull Taker, man, is absolutely carrying this game right now. Star Chamber Guardians also being just close to death. They're going to get terror routed if Skull Taker goes near them. With them being dead, this can potentially be a turnaround on a game. Adam will definitely lose this side objective. Like, there's nothing to kill the Feral Cold Ones. Now we see the Flesh Hounds. He probably didn't have them in the roster to summon. But yeah, with unallocation, like keeping a 1,200 over here onto objective 3 is definitely a misallocation from Marinos. He could have the middle objective right now if he just moved the proper units over there. One Saurus over here or one of the Red Cresteds into everything here will definitely help out the fight. And this is definitely over blobbing. If Adam, for some reason, has a Sword of Khorne, he should drop it right here, right now, and basically win the game. Honestly, if he drops that, he just wins the game. There's also a Slann resummon. Oh, there it is. There is the turnaround. That Sword of Khorne just got 1,000 value, man. Oh, that's gonna turn around the entire game for Adam over there. He just deleted two entire red-crested skinks and an extra skink as well as a feral cold one in just one sword of Khorne. He is a bit over allocating with moving everything to the middle objective, but I understand the panic with him being very close on winning on two. But what a great sword of Khorne, man! Really good banishment from the resummoned skink, Slan, I mean. But also this is a bit of a overcorrection from Adam, just going back to kill the Slan, hunt him down again, hunt down his family and his kin. Definitely don't need the Marauder Horsemen there, but they kind of did eat a free Buna. So I guess that's totally fine. Hellforge Bellowers, being an absolute raid boss this game, should go into melee, start farming more ammunition too. And this is actually working for Adam. Ooh, the Cold One Spear Riders is a great summon to defend the Slan. But if the Slan still dies and then just Skull Taker escapes and he sacks like one of the Hound units to mark his escape, this is completely worth it for Adam. He also stops the objective 1, is keeping really tight control onto objective 2. Skinks are coming in, but they're gonna terror out to the Flesh Hounds here, I believe. It's just these like Hopak cohort. The cohort is keeping it alive. When they rout, this entire blob will collapse. And we do see that the Slan actually died again to Skulltaker just hunting him, getting 2.6k value in frog legs in his matchup. Very good to see. And this game is super close, man. Like Adam completely carrying this objective, and now only we see the Saurus over committing to the middle objective. If they were there and he didn't fall for that Sword of Khorne over there, that would have been a completely different game. Hellforge Bellowers still farming more ammunition. It has two now, can back up and start shooting again. And then now the Marauders of Khorne are back. Definitely Adam should be doing some housekeeping. He's running out of units to resummon. Whoops, wrong thing. He's running out of units to resummon. These guys should be unsummoned. These guys too. And these guys when they stop running. So, but it seems to be a full-on melee fight in the middle objective. And I believe Adam actually has this one at this point. The complete turnaround. I did not believe that the Star Chamber Guardians could be outground so well. And man, he did it. The main issues that Adam had were just at the start engagement. Everything else was tactically perfect that he played, especially the hunting down of the Lord. He did it in the proper time when the Lord was super exposed and had not much to defend him on. Bastildons actually did really good here. I'm surprised at how well they did. They earned themselves 3 freaking chevrons, and the Ark of Sotek was just super annoying for all of the blob fights they were in. But it's now looking pretty over here, and Adam, I believe, has this game. There's still some more Chaos Warhounds and Fleshhounds. The Fleshhounds could probably just chase down the Feral Cold Ones, while the Chaos Warhounds could go into the Skink cohort if we were just going for optimal plays over here. And Hellforge Bellowers still healing, still doing Skull Feast, still basically just hell raising. And yeah, it now has 5 more ammo, can continue shooting normally. We also see more Chaos Warhounds going for Objective 3, and yeah, I think Adam will at this point even take Objective 3. There's still nothing that can kill Skulltaker in this entire army. My boy has farmed 3.1k value, which is insane, and very nice play. So there we go. Chaos Warhounds going to the proper target. This skin cohort is going to be fighting Fleshhounds, not the greatest of fights, and just the Skulltaker, surprisingly, doesn't have terror on his motorcycle. He just has fear. Amazing game by Adam. Really well tactically recovered from the bad engagements at the start. A bit unfortunate that there was an overblob with 4 to 5 units at the same spot there, which basically cost Marnos the game with that one Sword of Khorne just leading his army. Damn, Star Chamber Guardians getting 1900 is so nice to see from infantry. Rest of the units just had a grand old time, relatively good. And yeah, the Cold One Spear Rider is doing really well, and Gelbloms just didn't have anything, man. You just don't have anything for Gelbloms. Skull Taker being the MVP carry here, and then the Fleshhounds. Fleshhounds, this one didn't cook, and Hellforge Bellowares being absolutely amazing. Definitely threw the Knights of the Brazen Throne away, which was unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is. You kind of have to live with that. Same with the Minotaurs. They were a bit unsupported there, but it was still a very good rest of the tactic when it comes to the game. And yeah, GG's to all our players today. I will sadly be heading off, but I will keep up with the winner and the semifinals probably, and do a separate cast for those games. So thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in Warhammer League, both 5, which is very coming out very soon. We're finishing up with Warhammer League 4, and yep, hope you had as fun of a time as I did. So I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.